Hello everyone, and welcome back to Waterdeep Dragon Heist. We hope that your holidays were amazing, and we look forward to continuing our epic adventure in the city of Waterdeep. Without further ado, let us jump on in. So how is everyone?
Oh,
Whoa!
oh. Everyone is
President.
good,
Still almost, but in the meantime, hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's been a week in 2021 and the whole world seems to have gone insane again.
Yes.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Again, it's still insane.
It's still
Okay.
insane. It didn't
It's
change.
continued its current course of insanity. Good for them. At least they're being consistent.
Yes, at least they're being consistent. That's all we can say.
Yep.
Okay, so last time, just a quick recap as it has been a while and we've had a break. Last time, you took ownership of Trollskull Manor and cleared it out of its previous inhabitants, shall we say?
Yeah, number one.
And yes, you were number one. And you then got it up and running, and you did surprisingly well on the very first income check. And despite the
paid off everything.
yeah, despite the fact that you opened up the tavern without it being ready, you earned enough money to get it permanently ready for business. And
For about 5 seconds.
yep, and
This is a fun night.
so as we went into the downtime, you were all busy, hard at work, performing your various roles in the tavern and making sure that its first few weeks of operation were a success. And so here we are, about a month later now. Late spring has come to Waterdeep. The days are getting more humid, the temperature's slowly rising as summer draws ever near. The spring mists still present, as always, but perhaps the mists are thinner now and do not arrive until much later in the day. And even so, the days are growing warmer but less humid. Before we move into today's adventure proper, I would just like to issue a disclaimer that for everyone watching, when we are playing, we like to maintain immersion. So any raiders and or subscribers, if we see your notifications, please do not feel that we have forgotten about you. I'm sure the people in chat will welcome you and help you to feel welcomed.
Yay!
My friends.
And so with that, we begin.
And
And Remy and M1 are here, so welcome.
Sorry, I'm late.
Bulb and Sir Lucian have
The whole
arrived.
game is derailed now because of you.
Got off your butts.
And so, the day begins, another ordinary day. You've just closed up the tavern after a busy lunch shift, and you have a couple of hours to clean up, relax, and prepare yourselves for the late afternoon, early evening rush that is sure to encroach upon Trollskull Manor very soon. You're all seated around the bar, most of you enjoying alcoholic beverages, except for Bobbert, who is enjoying a nice mug of cold milk. Just enjoying... Yep. Babies don't have alcohol. And...
Well, Bobbert was of legal age for about 5 minutes.
Or you got Avid still trying to feed you.
Yep. Ava is still trying to feed you. And so you are just enjoying the peace and quiet and wondering when these rather simple days of running a tavern are going to give way to adventure once more. When suddenly a bird comes shooting in through an open window near the bar and begins fluttering about the tap room. This is an unusual occurrence, as the streets of Waterdeep, being as busy and tightly cramped as they are, don't often see a lot of wild-looking birds of this manner, and it's quite rare for them to just brazenly fly into a place of business. As the bird enters and begins flapping its white wings and circling the tap room, what do you do?
Well, wonder where Ava's gone. Cause Kitty. Oh no, yeah, Kitty. We have a bird in the tavern and he just left.
Got you in my ear.
Oh. Right. Greg,
Yes, you gotta catch the bird.
Greg, someone gonna boom.
Bird.
Do you try to talk to it in any way, Ava?
Contact. I just looked up at the ceiling. like a bird.
You just look up at the ceiling and you intently watch it while Nargle stands up and calls for someone. Nargle stands up and calls for someone to assist him in catching it, while Bobbert simply surveys the situation, amused. You fly up and catch it.
Wait, how big is it? How big is the bird?
It's a rather small bird, but it's pure
so you can
white.
Shoot out of it.
Wait,
Can Bulb just stand in the corner with his arm up and just look at it
Sure.
Wait, can I speak to birds?
and whistle a little bit?
Can Ava speak to birds?
I don't think you can, Ava. And also, Kitty, I can't really hear Kitty. She needs to be a bit louder. I think it's...
I'm getting there.
Yep, that's okay. Okay, so you'll have various reactions to this bird and think of various ways in which to catch it. But before you have a chance to do anything, the bird begins to slow its manic circling of the tap room. And then it becomes apparent that while indeed a bird, it is not a living creature. This bird, constructed from a thin sheet of paper and folded in an origami-like matter, drops itself at the feet of Narthel. It then begins on the floor at his feet to unfold itself, revealing a wrinkled page covered in writing.
Hey, Tom.
Hey Tom, just in
Hey,
time.
guys. Hey, Rude.
Just
FYI, guys, I'm packing for a holiday as I do this, so if I don't respond, assume I'm just off doing something.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so we're just in the tavern that the party owns, and a paper bird has flown in, dropped itself at Narthel's feet, and unravelled to reveal a sheet of writing. Narthel, do you pick it up?
What's this? Yeah, pick it up and...
You reach down and pick it up. Can you read, Narthel?
Well, I like to think I can.
Don't encourage him.
Narthel picks it up
that sounds
and,
good,
unusually for him, begins to read out the letter surprisingly clearly. It states, Rainier Neverember sings your praises nearly as sweetly and loudly as the opera he has purchased tickets for you to attend this evening. Dress in your formal best and arrive at the Lightsinger Theatre in the C Ward by 20 bells. At intermission, a gentleman by the name of Mert awaits your introduction in private box C. Attached to the sheet of paper are a handful of opera tickets for a performance simply entitled The Fall of Imrith.
Oh my.
A night at the opera, you say?
Yes.
Yep.
Wow, this is going to be great for us.
Grove beer. Is that an adventure here for us tavern only?
Great. A 10-year-old going to the opera. That's going to be just dandy.
Down in front.
The opera is the name of Blind Guardian album.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, I just get a little twitchy whenever I hear those words now.
Yes. Yes. And I get the reference. Yeah. You'll learn this next week when we play Delta Green. They have a term, a night at the opera. That's what. Yeah. When you're being sent on a mission, it's called going to a night at the opera. But no. This appears to be.
Different references.
Yeah, but this appears to just be a normal invitation to a seemingly normal opera, not involving any Lovecraftian shenanigans. And out of all of you,
no random letters highlighted.
Absolutely no random letters highlighted. And indeed, Mickey, when you hear that you've been invited to an opera, your first reaction is to straighten the cuff and collars of your immaculately clean leather armor. Of course, clean.
Going to be dress armor.
Yes, of course, clean as it is, you'll probably still need to acquire some formal clothing to complete the look. I know that Sir Lucian obviously has some formal attire. However, the rest of you might need to go shopping and see if...
have like some fancy Waterdeep soldier's armor to wear.
Oh well, you can turn up in your city guard armor if you like, but
yeah,
if you'd like to,
you mean more like a military dress sort of deal?
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
Very well, you
armor,
can
more like just standard uniform.
Yeah, pretty much.
While it may look out of
military.
Yeah, military dress uniform. While it may look out of place in an opera or a high society event, you'll probably be able to talk your way inside wearing it, and at the very least, if you do need to suddenly put your armor on, you have, of course, the cast-off armor, which instantaneously can be put on or off.
I do.
The rest of you will probably need to go shopping to see if you can acquire an outfit. But first... Yeah, Bobbit doesn't...
Bobbit doesn't know what any of this crap is.
Yeah, someone's gonna need to tell him.
Ava also doesn't know. She's like, what is formal? What
is opera? What is formal? And Bobbit only has one set of clothes.
And they're all overgrown now.
It is at this...
Well,
he's back to his
new ones, obviously, due to the last one's getting wrecked.
I just looked down at Bob and go, the opera is very, very fat people singing very high notes.
To this, Sir Lucian says, and if you wish to mingle among high society, you'll need to wear something a bit more upmarket than what you have right now.
Well, technically, I could...
You all look like shit in the most medieval sense possible.
Technically, I can mix in high society because I'm a prince.
Yes, but that's not common knowledge to the people of Waterdeep.
That's not exactly, you don't exactly go around letting people know that one off the bat, so...
I'm the prince, it doesn't work so well.
And so, Bulb, Bobbit, and Ava, Sir Lucian has explained to you that this is essentially some sort of gathering of the high society of Waterdeep, and quite an unproportionately high value is placed on your fashion at this event. And so Lucian not so subtly implies that the three of you will need to purchase some formal clothing if you wish to attend.
Why my ass? Let it tell, maybe.
And
Wake up, I'm wearing it now.
Love it.
Mm,
Love it. Did you
Love it.
understand anything he said?
what?
before you have a chance to decide how you are going to go about acquiring these clothing, you suddenly hear from the narrow alleyway outside the open window behind the bar a cacophony of what sounds like the clashing of metal trash can lids against the cobblestone, the caterwauling of a frightened feline, and the sound of several pieces of wood and debris being scattered across the lane. Then,
Something public can actually look into.
suddenly,
Let's go.
leaping up onto the windowsill and jumping down onto the bar comes a white cat, its fur looking quite frazzled and dishevelled as it enters. It slowly makes its way along the bar until
I would
it...
just like to note that I'm resisting the urge to eat it.
to eat it, yes. It slowly makes its way across the bar, coming to a stop in front of Bulb, where it takes a seat, and after about 20 seconds of licking itself and making sort of token effort to fix its dishevelled fur, it opens its mouth, and then a monotone male voice speaks. Interested in joining the Emerald Enclave? Those who wish to work for the balance of nature, come and meet us at Falconmere in the Southern Ward. At this point, the cat licks its paw one more time, and then meows loudly and runs across the bar, leaping out of the window once again.
Hi, Mr. Talking Kitty. Talking kitties and
Oh.
birds that fall apart. This is weird.
Bulb
day.
quickly writes down the address that was...
Yep. The Falconmere. And you've been in Waterdeep long enough now that you know the Falconmere to be a large community garden in the South Ward, owned jointly by two noble families. And upon hearing this, Sir Lucian informs you that he knows of both of these noble families. The Falcons and the Tarns, who have spent quite a lot of their money graciously building this community garden that is now one of the most well-known landmarks in the Southern District. A slice of nature in the middle of bustling Waterdeep. And so not only you, Bulb, but anyone who has an affinity for nature should consider this their invitation as well.
Ooh.
Bulb is definitely interested.
So is Ava.
Bulb has no idea what's going on.
And
I
so,
just pass Bob in another glass of milk.
we must decide, in that case, who will be going to Falconmere to make contact with the Emerald Enclave, and who will be attending tonight's opera with Narthel, hopefully acquiring some fine clothing first.
Bob will be going to the Emerald Enclave.
I will be going with Bold.
Very well.
It's going with Bold and Ava simply because she has no idea what the other thing is.
That's fair enough. So Sir Lucian and Narthel and, shall we say, Mickey. Mickey, would you like to attend the opera? I'm assuming, as a bard, that the opera is going to be your...
Bread and butter?
Yes. That said...
Mickey's silence is yes.
Yes. That said, Mickey, you don't actually have formal attire, and you're going to need to acquire some. And so, I would
Wait,
like.
he's naked?
Well, he's not naked. He's wearing his clean armor, but it's leather armor,
Clean.
and it's perhaps not suitable for a high society opera. And so, after discussing with Narthel and Sir Lucian about the types of fashion that would be deemed acceptable at this event, you decide to set about acquiring such clothing for yourself. So I would like you to begin by making an investigation check, please.
Who's making the check?
Mickey is, or Tom. But since he's silent, I guess he's packing something, so I will make it for him. Oh, I heard a... Tom, you back or not? No. Alright. On D20 plus... Oh, I used the wrong command.
It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been too long. But he passes his investigation check, and Narthel, you and Lucian accompany Mickey, and you search around Troll Skull Alley and the immediate environs, knowing that neither of you have a lot of money to splurge on formal wear. You eventually locate a shop on the high road, just south of Tarnath Street, called Aurora's Realm Outlet. And this is known as a good place to find off-the-rack formal wear at discount prices. You step inside, and the half-elf proprietor wastes no time in taking Mickey's measurements and placing several formal coats along his shoulders, just checking how they will fit him. And after a while, she determines that if he wears his unnaturally clean armor underneath a formal jacket and slacks, that he won't need a full suit. And so she offers him a formal ensemble for 12 GP. Which is, she points out, much cheaper than if he had gone for a fully tailored suit. And so, Mickey, do you agree to pay 12 GP for some formal clothing?
Yes, I do.
Would Lucian or Narthel like to pitch in for that? Or would Lucian perhaps like to talk the price down a bit and help Mickey?
I will do that because I am a nobleman.
You are. And your name carries a bit of weight here. And so, I would like you, Lucian, to please make a persuasion check.
Okay.
With advantage.
I have better luck if I roll for initiative.
Well, I'm letting you do it with advantage, because your noble name does carry some weight amongst commoners. So you may do it a second time. 11 plus your charisma plus your proficiency. Okay, you got 14 altogether. You basically drop your name, taking the woman aside and whispering in her ear. She hears your name and blushes and briefly giggles, and then silences herself, clasping her hand in front of her mouth. And then she graciously drops the price to 5 GP for Mickey to acquire some formal attire for the night. Perhaps not the best the store has to offer, but enough that should get him past reception and into the opera hall. And, Mickey, will you accept 5 GP? Silence means yes. Silence does mean yes, and so Mickey reaches into his coin purse and hands over 5 GP. The woman graciously smiles.
Give me no sign.
The woman graciously smiles, curtsies, and wishes you a good time at tonight's opera as you leave the store. Meanwhile, Bulb, Ava, and Bobbit are leaving Trollskull Manor to visit Falconmere. As you step out of Trollskull Manor into the crowded alleyway outside, Bobbit, I'd like you to make a perception check, please.
Ooh. Well, let's have a look. Where's my perception at? I missed stumbles already. But actually, no, I still did pretty good. It's a 16. I just get a +0 now instead of my +5.
16, not bad. As Ava and Bulb walk ahead, discussing with each other what the Emerald Enclave might want with them, you turn to your left and you see, leading out of the very narrow alleyway that separates Trollskull Manor from the shop next to it, a small trail of rubbish and debris, possibly left from the cacophony you heard earlier. And as you follow it with your gaze, looking down the alleyway, you see for a brief moment, shrouded in shadows at the end of the alleyway and hovering just above an open trash can, a small spherical object about the size of a grapefruit. And as soon as it notices you staring at it, it darts away, hiding behind the trash can.
Wait, is it shiny?
Well, does Bobbit point out that something's there?
There any Bobbit noticed?
Well, Bobbitt's noticed. Bobbitt's very quietly pulls some rations out of her pocket and just puts it down, just takes a step back. Hopefully that it comes forward, because Bobbit's pretty sure she knows what this is.
Bobbit removes some rations from her pocket, takes a few steps into the trash-strewn alleyway, and places the ration on the cobblestone in front of her. Nothing happens for a brief moment, but then, Bobbit, you see what looks like a tiny eye stalk pop out from behind the trash can. It sweeps the area in front of it, and then its gaze locks upon the rations. Then, the rest of the gazer slowly emerges from behind the trash can, hovering down the alleyway towards you. Cautiously, not coming too close, but still close enough that you're able to get a good look at it. It is indeed the same gazer you encountered in the Xanathar hideout a month ago, and it was with a pang of sadness that you notice 2 of its eye stalks appear to have been violently snapped off, leaving nothing but little stubs where they used to be. Indeed, the gazer's main eyeball is covered in a large purple bruise.
Aww. Well, its buddy got hurt. You've been looking for me all this time, have you, little friend?
It looks over at you, Bobbit, and then gestures behind it with its one remaining eye stalk. You take a look, and there, behind the trash can, you see 2 things. A dead rat and several fur balls of what look like white cat fur.
That mean old kitty give you a bad time, did it?
The gazer nods, but then it closes its eye and comes just a bit closer to you. And it reaches out its lone remaining eye stalk, perhaps inviting Bobbit to touch it.
Yeah, Bobbit's gonna touch it.
You reach out and touch the eye stalk, and suddenly a vision fills your mind. The gazer, but a much larger version of it, bearing down upon it with hundreds of eye stalks, all of those eyes fixated, tilted in anger. It opens its mouth, revealing sharp teeth, and barks, "You let them into the hideout! You've disappointed Xanathar for the last time!" One of the eye stalks shoots a ray of red light, which the gazer quickly dodges, and, fleeing for its life, it escapes through a crack in a cobblestone wall, emerging in the streets of Waterdeep above. Then, seeking shelter, it makes its way to Trollskull Manor, where it knows Bobbit will be kind to it. It opens its main eye once again and withdraws its eye stalk. Then, it flashes you a toothy smile, reaches out with its eye stalk for the ration, levitating it off the ground, and then taking one last look at you. It zooms back into its hiding spot behind the trash can.
That's good. Quick question: are there any windows to the basement level of the bar in this alley?
Yes, indeed there are. There is one right behind the trash can. It appears to have been unused for quite some time, and a very rusty padlock ensures that the gazer would not have been able to get it open. And so, Bobbit, would you like to make a Thieves' Tools check to unlock the basement window for the gazer?
Well, damn, I get proficiency with that, don't I?
Yes, you do.
That's gonna be a 21.
21. You reach over and unlock the rusty padlock and push open the basement window. The gazer looks over at you, flashing a toothy grin once again, and then without wasting any time, zooms through the window, hovering just above your bed, which you can see on the other side of the window.
Bobbit just sort of looks and goes, "Bobbit has to go and meet with some new friends, but just make sure you stay down there so Nana doesn't try to squash you again, okay? Bobbit will be back soon."
The gazer looks up at you, grinning, and then Bobbit, you shut the window, and you run out of the alleyway, catching up with Bulb and Ava, who have made their way to the entrance of Trollskull Alley. Here, you meet with Narthal, Sir Lucian, and Mickey. You each wish each other good luck in your upcoming social ventures and go your separate ways. And Mickey, you have paid 5 GP for a formal outfit. It was not the best the store had, but Sir Lucian was able to haggle the price down from 12 GP for you. And so, we shall first go with Ava and... Ava, you're down 5 GP for a formal suit. It was not the best the store had to offer, but Sir Lucian haggled it down to 12 GP for you. Did you want to pay the 5 GP, or would you like to try to get into the opera?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. Very well. Okay, we shall cross to Ava, Bulb, and Bobbit first. We'll just adjust the map.
Yay.
Okay, so Bulb and Bobbit and Ava, you're making your way down to the southern ward all the way on the opposite side of the city, so far away that it takes about an hour just to reach there. You arrive at Falconmere, a large walled-in square, about 50 feet in area, easily taking up half of the city block on which it is situated. There are 2 gates, a northern gate and a southern gate, each one facing one of the main cobblestone streets. Both gates are open, allowing anyone to enter into an immaculately maintained community garden with carefully maintained hedges and topiaries of many different shapes and sizes, lanes lined with blossoming fruit trees, a carefully manicured lawn, and several large ponds lined with bushes and park benches. While it is certainly a very artificial slice of nature, a slice of nature it is nonetheless. I would like the 3 of you to please make perception checks.
That's going to be a 3 for Bobbert, probably distracted by thinking up names for a new friend.
Yes.
That's an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20, and how did Ava do?
7.
7? Well, I think Bulb's
Clearly-
unnatural
clearly
20 will
Bulb
be...
is Bulb's probably like...
Yeah,
actively
Bulb's
looking for
thinking
these
of
people,
names
so-
for his new friend, and Ava, I think, is just trying to... looking at these tiny fruit trees and basically thinking, call these trees, and just thinking how utterly unsuitable they are for nesting. But you spend a few minutes...
Not much of a nester, come on. I was thinking about food.
Yeah, food. If she could get any. What kinds of fruit that they will eventually grow in the summer and whether she'll be able to get any. But you spend a few moments wandering around the gardens, taking in all the sights to see. And then eventually, Bulb, you catch sight of a lone caretaker wearing an unusually ragged grey robe that stands out considering how well maintained the surroundings are. A almost grey-skinned elven man hunched over and carefully cutting some branches off a nearby tree with a pair of secateurs. As he notices you walking along the lane towards him, his eyes seem to lock onto you, Bulb, and you see him subtly beckon you to come over to him.
I walk over to him.
You walk over to him, and you wait as he silently finishes off his work on this tree, snapping off a couple of more branches and then bundling them up as they fall into the grass at his feet. He
I
stands.
help him.
You help him?
bundle up the twigs. Yep.
Yep. You help him bundle up the last of his twigs, quickly wrapping them in a small length of rope. He smiles at you, and then he holds out an arm of his raggedy cloak, revealing weathered grey skin underneath. He offers you his hand, and he says, Melanor Falbranch of the Emerald Enclave.
Take his hand and say, Bulb Aesor, Druid of no association as of yet.
He says, Bulb Aesor, yes, so you received the invitation that I sent with the messenger. Your accomplishments have reached the Enclave's ears, and we thought, though that's a level of skill that perhaps would find its greater calling when dedicating itself to nature. He turns to Ava and he says, and you? I have heard whispers of you and your accomplishments with Bulb, but I'm afraid I know not your name. He holds out his hand. Melanor Fellbranch. And the Emerald Enclave welcomes anyone who wishes to serve nature.
I'm Ava.
Do you just awkwardly hold out a wing to shake his hand?
Yeah. Although I think I have hands.
Yes, you do. So you awkwardly shake his hand as you're not really used to this custom. Then finally, his gaze passes over to Bobbit. He says, "And you, young girl, I'm afraid of you I know nothing."
Bobbit is Bobbit.
He says,
Old man.
Bobbit. He says, "And Bobbit, let me ask you a question. Do you strive to do kindness to all of nature's creatures?"
Bobbit helped an animal on the way over here. Does that count?
Melanor smiles. He holds out his hand. He says, "Then you too shall be welcomed by the Emerald Enclave."
Bulb
I
leans
look
in
above
and
it like, what?
Bulb leans in and whispers to Melanor, "Don't cast light on his hat.
Melanor
Doesn't end well."
Melanor nods silently. And then, before he has a chance to say anything, suddenly you hear a soft, soothing female voice that says, "Ah, Melanor, these would be the new recruits. Very nice." She has the tone of someone sizing you up, but as you look around, you can see no body for this voice to come from.
Can I roll a nature check?
You may.
Oh, that's a 13.
It's a 13, but that's enough.
I give him advantage.
Ah, yes. Alright, well, it's enough to get some information, but with Ava helping you, you may try again to see if you can glean some more.
May as well.
Go
Can
for
never
it.
hurt. Hey, that's much better. That's a 17.
17. You and Ava think for a moment. You have an idea who this could be, but could it be true? If so, this is a great honor. You've heard of an archdruidess of the Emerald Enclave by the name of Jareth Falcon, a member of the Falcon family who sponsored the creation of this garden. Her love of nature was apparently so great that she became a chosen of Melikki. Melikki, who took away Jareth's body into her realm and allowed her to exist as a disembodied spirit of nature, an embodiment of nature itself. Melanor smiles, and he says, "My lady, I believe Bulb and Ava here have already heard of you." The disembodied...
Bowed slightly.
Bobbit is trying not... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, Bulb bows slightly. Bob, what is Bobbit doing?
Bobbit is trying not to freak out because there's another ghost and her last run-in didn't go well.
Yes, Bobbit's just looking around nervously. The
Kind of,
Yep.
I look side to side, and then I see Bulb bowing, and I just sort of go, okay then.
You'd bow yourself, curling your wings in front of you. The disembodied...
Bulb, while he's bowing, just puts a hand on Bobbit's shoulder reassuringly and gently squeezes.
The disembodied voice says, "Do not fear, young Bobbit. The Emerald Enclave takes care of those who would care for it. And we have no reason to believe anything other than that you will be brilliant additions to our order." There is silence for a few moments more, and then once again the disembodied voice says, Well, Melanor, I believe they will be fine additions, as I said." "Very well, I shall approve them and officially invite them to the Enclave. Bulb, I saw, Ava, and Bobbit, do you accept my invitation?"
Bulb is awestruck for a second and goes, yes, I've been searching for this for a while, but yes.
The disembodied voice says, very well. Malinor will put you to your first task. We hope you will serve us and nature well. And to assist you, a blessing from my Licky. As she departs, she bestows upon the three of you a charm of restoration.
Oh.
This charm of restoration is a supernatural boon, and it will allow you to cast the spell Lesser Restoration 3 times before the charm dissipates.
Oh,
That's cool.
nice. What spells for
Lesser
Bobbit?
Restoration.
I forgot to
Can
bring a
cast
pencil, so I'm
lesser-
gonna write that in my phone.
With
Lesser
this,
Restoration 3 times?
yep, 3 times, and once you've cast it 3 times, the charm dissipates.
Okay, cool.
Malinor stands up, straightening his back, and then as he sets to work again pruning branches from the tree, he clears his throat and he says, outlying farms up in the region of Undercliff being terrorized by a scarecrow come to life. It has slaughtered livestock, chased horses, and spooked farmers. No people have been killed as of yet, so the city guard is dragging its heels. Nonetheless, something must be done. And so, the Enclave would like to task you three, and any allies you see fit to bring along, with locating this scarecrow and putting a stop to its terrorization of the Undercliff farms.
I hate scarecrows.
I produce flames in a hand and go, easily done.
He says, very well. He says, the scarecrow seems to appear at night only, and as it has not done any serious harm as of yet, I believe time is not of the essence right now, but I would urge you to not delay the task for too long. He clips a branch off the tree, and then he says, now, be off with you. I have 3 more of these trees that I have to prune. He says, oh, and welcome to the Emerald Enclave.
Bulb asks him, Bulb says, I personally have nowhere to be for the next however long a theatre production goes for. Would you like some help? And offer to help him prune the trees.
I also offer because I can fly.
And what will Bobbit do during this time?
Receptionist of you. It's like you fly.
Because I can fly.
Bobbit would be fine heading back to the bar to check on her friend because she did promise she'd be back.
Ah, yes. Very well.
Everyone else going, Bobbit needs to go home. She forgot something back there.
Very well.
Offer to, or I should probably escort
Bobbit back? Well, you can stay. Bobbit can get back. Bobbit can take care of herself. But it's up to you. Bobbit is your baby after all.
Okay, Bobbit has Mr. Stick to help her in case someone happens.
Bulb says to Bobbit before he leaves.
He leaves.
She.
I know.
I keep forgetting.
It's a learning
We
curve.
say anything, Bobby just runs away.
No, I'll wait to hear.
Here is the jar of powdered goodberry. Take it in case it is needed. And I wink at Bobbit.
Ah, good idea.
So you now have
Just
1
merely
powdered
turn
goodberry.
opposite. Yay.
Very well.
Oh,
In that case, before we cross over to the other group, I would like Ava and Bulb to please make nature checks.
That's a 17.
Nice. Fuck it, I'm gonna use Liam's dice.
Yeah, go ahead. We know the dice pot doesn't. It is moody.
Which one do you want?
Well, I already rolled. Then,
Oh, okay.
I mean, from now on.
Okay.
Sorry.
And what did you get?
She got 9.
9. Very well, very well. Okay, so Ava and Bulb, you assist Malinor with the maintenance of the gardens for the next few hours, and the job is done quickly and efficiently. And at the end of it, Malinor is quite impressed with your work, and as a token of his appreciation, he gives you each a potion of healing.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I thanked him graciously.
Meanwhile, Bobbit, you return to Trollskull Manor, and as soon as you get there, you rush down into the basement to meet your new friend and spend the next several hours getting to know him or her, whatever it may be. I would like you to make a charisma check, please.
Ooh, holy shit, that's a nat 20.
Cool.
Very well, Bobbit. You learn that the Gazer calls itself Tiny Eye, or at least this was a name assigned to it by its father, the great Xanathar, who dreamed all minor beholders into existence. And although beholders, not a bad name, but it graciously offers you to
What's the
think
name?
of another one if you don't like it.
Would you like a new name? I mean, if your daddy was mean to you, you probably don't want to hang around him anymore.
It just
Would you like
shrugs
us to give you a name?
non-committally. Shrugs its eye stalk non-committally.
Okay, I was about to say, how does a gazer shrug? Then you just said with the eyes.
Yeah.
Eye stalk. How about Blinky?
You see it sort of sigh, closing its main eyelid, and then it shrugs its eye stalks again, and then smiles, which you take to be encouragement.
It's not here again, no!
You also discover that although genders are rarely important to beholders, that this beholder, as a spawn of Xanathar, is male. You spend the next several hours just talking to it, getting to know what it's like to be a gazer, and enjoying time with a new friend. And so, the fact that you nat 20'd on that charisma check, I will keep in mind for when you get him as your familiar. He will come with a small bonus.
Holy shit, yay!
Okay, we cross over.
Quick question.
Yes, Ava?
Would I guess probably greater restoration restore his eye stalk?
Well, it may, but the thing is, Beholderkin actually will regrow their eye stalks.
Oh, okay, like a lizard.
So if you give him enough time, they will
Wait,
grow
what
back.
if, in that case, what if you use lesser restoration?
Yeah, lesser restoration will probably help it along.
I was going to say Bobbit may actually use one of her lesser restorations just to go, Bobbit's not really a healer, she's more used to blowing things up, but I got a present from my new friend, so hopefully this will help.
Very well. You cast Lesser Restoration on Blinky, which will help his eye stalks regrow sooner, which means that when you get him as your familiar, he will have access to his eye stalk attacks immediately.
Oh, yay! Thank you for that.
Meanwhile, we cross over to the other group, who in the meantime are making their way over to the theatre, where they were invited to watch the opera. Light Singer Theatre is a high-end establishment located in the Castle Ward. You are stopped at the front door by an immaculately dressed, silver-haired human man who demands to see your tickets. Upon showing him your tickets... Oh, Tom's internet dropped out.
Oh no.
Oh, bugger.
Oh dear.
And, yeah. After you show him your tickets, he briefly looks at them, and then takes a moment to examine your attire. He looks over at Lucian, finds the attire adequate, waves him through. He looks at Mickey, briefly, and narrows his eyes when he sees the second-hand coat and slacks he's wearing, but then forces a smile and waves him through. Finally, he comes to you, Nathal. He looks your city guard dress outfit up and down, and then he frowns. He clears his throat and he says, "My apologies, sir, but this is not a military academy graduation night."
I produced the invitation. Nato and friends, we will have express tickets to meet someone here.
He says, "Yes, your invitation is not in question, sir. However, I'm not sure if you would be abiding with our dress code if I let you in. However..." He forces a smile and he says, "If one were to provide perhaps an upfront fee..."
I just found him, and I'm taking this chance to pull this card. I'm assuming that I have like proof or something. That
You do have an insignia of the Storm Court.
Yeah, drop the stupid demeanors and just produce it. You're gonna say no to the Prince of the Storm Court?
Very well. I'd like you to make an intimidation check with advantage.
Okay, what's my intimidation at? +7. With my charisma, +5. Okay. That was almost a nat 20, then it just rolled over to an 8. But still, that is 13, 19.
He opens his mouth as if he's about to scoff or say something belittling, but then he sees the insignia, takes it in for a moment, and then he opens his mouth aghast. He quickly slaps it shut and he says, my apologies, Your Highness." He bows once, twice, 3 times quickly at your feet, and then he says, "Please, let us not make a big deal of this. Let me upgrade your seats to the VIP box, if you don't mind." And then he ushers you through into the opera house.
I just while we're walking through, I just turn back and just give him the biggest stare down ever.
You enter the opera house. Its walls and floor. A big sea of red in front of you. Red carpet, red velvet curtains, posh red wallpaper. And you are quickly met by a well-dressed usher with blonde hair who leads you out to his seats in the VIP box, almost directly above the stage below, offering you a perhaps perfect view of the performance. As you sit down in your seats, the blonde-haired man blushes and he says, "Please, once again, in behalf of my friend outside, apologies, Your Highness. Please, enjoy the show."
It is quite alright, and thank you.
You take your seats, and you wait for the show to begin.
Please tell me you're going to describe the opera.
Of course I'm going to describe the opera. I just have to find...
Of course.
Exasperated. Of course.
Oh. Go on.
I just have... Oh, right. Okay. You wait for the show to begin. You wait 20 minutes and eventually the murmurs of the crowd die down. The lights lighting the opera house dim. And then magical lamps burst to life on the edges and the back of the stage. All you could see is the vast stage, the red curtains behind it, in a sea of darkness. The curtains slowly open. Then, 5 men walk out onto the stage. You immediately discern their races. A dwarf with a long flowing red beard. A gnome with blonde hair and a goatee. A human man hunched over, doing his best impression of a halfling. Another human wearing a mask on his face. A mask that depicts what you can only assume is some sort of black-scaled reptilian creature.
Just saying, this is like the Ember Island Players episode of Avatar.
Yes.
Oh god.
And finally, a half-elf man, his face painted a bright red, with fake horns jutting out of his blonde hair. They all bow and begin to sing. We are the Fellowship of Steel. You'll see. We are the Fellowship of Steel. They each curtsy, running up and down the stage, throwing their arms aloft into the air as they introduce themselves. I am Angus Hammerfall, the knight and cleric with the stick up his butthole.
As this is going on, please tell me Narthel has the horn on him still.
Yes, I do.
They just start glowing red hot. You can just almost see just in the background. Just.
I am Bartleby Snavelier, burning things down each and every day. I am Milo O'Tealeaf. I've made it my mission to hunt giants for as long as I breathe. I am Noggle Hammerfall. I try to do the best for Angus, my sire, but never call me squire. And I am Dan Cooper, a bit of a butt, but my wine made it to #1 in the chart. The 5 men proceed to sing about the early journeys of the Fellowship of Steel, their entanglements with Duke Zolto, the Fire Giants, and the Hill Giants. About halfway through the first act, a woman steps onto the stage, her skin painted purple. She waves at the audience, winks, simply says, "I am Reva, and I am gone," and then pulls out a black sheet of fabric which she drapes over herself.
It's beyond amazing. Thank you.
Kale, thank you. Thank you so much.
Although perhaps not to everyone's taste, the opera is well performed. Intermission comes at the end of the second act, just as the Fellowship prepare for their final climactic battle with Imrith in the Anarok Desert, having just encountered Dan Cooper in the midst of his lichdom ritual. And I'll point out to Sir Lucian, as you see this, a shiver runs down your spine and you're filled with this bizarre sense of deja vu. Perhaps this opera is not to your liking.
I just start, it's my daddy! It's my dad!
Once the curtains are drawn for intermission, as directed in your letter, you head over to Private Box C, where you are greeted by a portly, well-dressed, mustachioed man who holds out a fat hand, takes a bow, and introduces himself simply as Mert.
Mert. I extend my hand. Wait, what race is he?
A fat human.
Okay, I extend my hand and try not to crush it with my hand.
He shakes your hand, and then he compliments you. Nice strong grip! I like that, as he lets go. He reaches out
I got it from my daddy.
He says, "Ah! Yes, Sir Narthal, indeed. Prince of the Storm Court. I heard the ushers before. I hear you caused quite a stir down in the ticket box."
Well, that's what they get for trying to bribe me. Not bribe me, they want to get bribed.
He chuckles. He holds out his hand to Sir Lucian, and he says, "Sir Lucian S., I've heard a lot of your exploits within the army of the Lord's Alliance. It is an honor to meet at last." He takes a bow. Lucian, do you take his hand? And if so, do you say anything as you shake his hand?
I accept his handshake, and I do not do anything. I just say nothing. Nod.
He nods.
I have a big stick of roses.
Yep. He nods in kind. Then he clears his throat and he says, "Perhaps you're wondering why I invited you here. Well, I thought that the subject matter of the opera would appeal at least to Narthal here. I must confess I did have an ulterior motive for inviting you here tonight." He says, "I am a tactical advisor of sorts to the Lord Alliance. I report directly to Lady Larail Silverhand, the current open lord of Waterdeep, and the rest of the Waterdeep Council, and I am her go-between between herself and the other members of the Lord Alliance, Daggolt Neverember of Neverwinter, and Scimitar Sally of Yata, amongst others."
Oh, Kitty, it's okay.
My lady.
He says, "I reached out to you as I thought that, given your recent accomplishments in the city, you not only happened to rescue Daggolt Neverember's young son, Rainier, who, by the way, sings his praises of you as a mutual friend of myself, but you assisted the noted author Volo on his new task, and you have become proprietors of a new establishment which I hear is currently on the up and up."
Yeah, going quite well, and we do a good job.
He says, "And so, I would like to extend a formal invitation to become official agents of the Lord's Alliance." He chuckles and he says, "Of course, Sir Lucian here already holds that role, but I have no doubt he'll be happy to be doing something more than simply drinking in his private booth at the Trollskull Manor."
I would like to talk to my friends about this and see what they think.
He says, of course, discuss it amongst yourselves, and do not accept the invitation until you are certain. But first, in case you would like to help, we currently have a matter that you may want to assist with. He clears his throat once more, and he says, there is a spy for the Lord's Alliance, plumbing her trade for the city. She goes by the name of Maxine, and during the day she has the rather obstinate hobby of masquerading as a horse. He says, well, he says, yes, believe me, it sounds incredible, but I'm not horsing around here. The woman spends her days posing as a horse in her capacity as a spy. She serves as the mare that pulls several of the city's cabs, sometimes overhearing conversations and important information from some of the city's most famous and most infamous. Most recently, we assigned her to a certain cab that does almost exclusive business with one of the guilds in the city. In her capacity as the mare pulling this cab, we tasked her with uncovering any information, overhearing anything that would allow us to move upon this guild and progress into a formal investigation. You see, this guild has had a number of reports leveled against them for harassment of townspeople and traders, but cursory investigation revealed they are operating above board and are not doing anything illegal according to the city's guild charter. So we thought maybe we might be able to get them for tax evasion or something. He says, however, Maxine is now, well, missing. He gives you a wry smile. He says, and so, if you could attend to this, discover what has become of Maxine, and rescue her, bring her back into our service, you will have done the Lord's Alliance a great boon, and not only will you be offered a position of some influence in our organization, but you will be repaid in kind. What do you have to say to this, Nathal?
I inquire which guild it is.
He says, well, it would be the Baker's Guild. He says, yes, you do? Yep.
For role-playing services.
Purposes.
We'll say I'm holding a strong metal cup, and as soon as I hear that, I crush the cup, and it immediately drops on the floor.
He smiles as it hits the ground with a clang, and he says, well, you've heard of him. Then, I need offer no more incentive for you to attend to this task for us. Good luck! He winks at you, and as the opera is about to resume and you begin to head back to your seats, he stands up. Yep.
Before he leaves, I was going to ask him, where was Maxine last seen?
He says, well, she was last seen pulling her cab. Just simply ask around all of the cabs in the castle ward, and one of them will put you on the right path.
Alright, I thank him, bow to him, and go back to seeing someone portraying my dad.
As you head back to your seats, he stands up once more and he bellows, you know, I once had a good friend who sang this very opera at this very theatre. Such a coincidence is surely the work of Timora. I have faith that our mutual friend Rainier has set us upon our wonderful friendship.
Yes, we can only hope.
Later that night, after you were each done with your business at the opera,
How
and
did the play end? I must know.
well,
Please, actually, yes, please.
You're in for it now.
the opera resumes, and the next half hour are a very, shall we say, dramatized version of the battle with Imrith. A battle that
Stringers everywhere.
a battle that culminates with Angus Hammerfall's actor prancing along the front of the stage and shouting and singing, "Oh Moradin, I call upon you, help us reign in the end." At which point,
At this point, I hold up my holy symbol because I pretty much get a feeling that Uncle Angus is in there, and I just pop it up on the
so he can watch.
You can almost hear faint laughing, but it doesn't sound like Angus. It sounds like someone that Angus is particularly close to. Mr. Moradin's just having an absolute fucking ball watching this.
Another dwarf comes out onto the stage, riding stilts to make him appear taller. He bellows, "I am Moradin, and Imrith I strike you down." He pirouettes on the
And the swaps immediately back to Angus instead.
He pirouettes on the stage and reaches out his hand, grabbing that of the actress who plays Imrith, and they spend the next 10 minutes doing a ballroom waltz, which represents the tussle between Angus, Moradin, and Imrith, until both of them bow and quickly scurry behind the curtains.
God.
At this point, the human who plays Dan Cooper takes a step forward and begins to sing, "Now Imrith is dead, but Dan Cooper is still alive, here to pee in your metaphorical bed." He begins to dance along the stage. The curtains open, and out steps the same portly dwarf who portrayed Moradin, but this time he's wearing a bulky costume that appears to be a large barrel with the word wine written on it. He and Dan Cooper grab hands and begin to waltz in much the same way as Moradin and Imrith, until Angus steps forward and says, "Now, Dan Cooper, I shall save the world from your piss wine. I shall employ the weapon, this ultimate weapon, the stick up the butthole that is mine."
There are no words. No words.
With that, Angus brandishes his hands, and out from behind the stage rushes a tiny female gnome who prances along, grabs Dan Cooper by the hand, and says, "I am the bag of holding, and off to Moradin's realm with you." She leads the both of them off the stage. Then, the actor playing Angus takes a deep bow and says, "Now, I too depart to Moradin's realm, to drink beer, and, to be clear, let us never speak of Dan Cooper again." The audience claps in raucous applause as all of the actors come out, take their bows, and cheer each other as the red curtains slowly descend.
That was amazing.
Fortnightly sessions again.
That was so good.
That was beautiful.
And so you return to Trollskull Manor, where Ava, Bulb, and Moon, otherwise known as Veska, are waiting for you, enjoying a drink enjoying a drink as the first few patrons of the evening drift in, discussing the night's work and the tasks that have been placed before them. Bobbert is nowhere to be seen, but as you think of asking where he is, you suddenly hear a loud blast coming from underneath the floorboards, accompanied with the giggling of a young girl. And suddenly you know exactly where she is.
I rushed straight down there because that's my baby.
Okay.
That's my baby.
The rest of the night passes without issue. You each...
Wait, none of us are going to question what the hell that was.
You haven't questioned anything else?
I mean, you're kind of used to Bobbert doing stuff like this in the basement over the past month. That's why she's down there.
Bobbert lives in the basement.
Yeah, yeah, you would rush down there, and in fact the first time this happened you did, but since then you've learned that strange noises coming from the basement, that's just Bobbert, and we don't question it anymore. And so the rest of the night passes without incident as the evening rush of patrons soon take over and do not have the opportunity to discuss your adventures of the day until the next morning. You meet for breakfast. Enjoy a decent meal, a Waterdeep standard. And then, as Veska finishes her meal, she turns over to Narthel and she says, "So, what'd you get up to yesterday? I've already heard all about the Emerald Enclave and the evil scarecrows. How'd your day go?" And so... Yep,
sorry,
go Narthel.
I had a fantastic night. I saw a play, they involved my dad. I saw a man, he wanted us to do stuff, and then back to the play, and Uncle Angus done stuff. It was a good night.
And Mickey throws his...
I question Uncle Angus. What?
Is it Uncle Angus or Grandpa? I could have sworn if he was...
Yeah, it'd kind of be Grandpa, yeah, but he just calls him Uncle Angus.
This family tree is one goddamn mess.
As you describe the opera, Mickey McGrew shoves his scarf over his shoulder and he says, "Well, the writing left a bit to be desired, I must say."
You just hear a faint yell from the bloody Angus the Torn going, "Oh, bloody day!"
And you quickly bring each other up to speed on the tasks you were given and potential membership into these two factions. And so, as we enter the second half of today's session, which task...
In the second half, that was fantastic.
Well, we have to get some combat in, at least.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so, what would you like to attend to first? The task given to you by the Emerald Enclave to investigate the scarecrows terrorizing Undercliff and put a stop to it? Or to search for the missing spy come horse Maxine and discover what, if anything, the Bakers Guild had to do with her disappearance?
Well, how long would it take to get to the farms? Like, we're in the morning now, right?
The farms are, currently you are in the North Ward, and the farms are right here, so only about half an hour. Okay. However, you were told by Malinor that so far the scarecrows have only been seen at night time. That said, however, there is a possibility that if you visit during the day, you might be able to discover some sort of trail or clues that you may be able to follow to find out where they hide during the day.
Bold votes for Scarecrow.
I vote for Scarecrow.
I vote for finding Maxine 1 because I have the massive grudge against the Bakers Guild, and 2, I would ask Maxine why the long face.
Really wants to see the horse lady but also knows that the Scarecrow is a job given to her. Plus, it's
Yes,
a little bit close to
specifically.
home. Bobbit also very quickly says, Bobbit passes her vote for the Scarecrow before taking half her breakfast and disappearing downstairs.
Back downstairs again.
Why.
Very well. The Scarecrow it is. The job for the Emerald Enclave. And so, you finish up your breakfast. To spend about an hour serving the small handful of patrons that come in the morning. Quickly clean up, and then head upstairs to gather your armor and weapons and prepare yourself for
you guys gather your armor, do a Salamine transformation.
Yeah, you just stand where you are behind the bar, and it leaps up and immediately attaches to your body.
Yeah, Bobbit's just wearing her new clothes she's been wearing the past month ever since her old ones got destroyed by forcible aging. Yeah, forcible aging. It's just a dress now instead of like a oversized jacket, because obviously the gender thing isn't really an issue anymore.
Yep.
How long is Bobbit's hair?
I'd say past the shoulders, like no one's really worked on it in a while, so...
You meet up after you're all ready, and you usher for Veska to come and join you. She stands up and she says, well, after spending hours hearing about these scarecrows yesterday, I really wouldn't mind setting fire to them, so count me in.
Bobbit's ready to go, just have to do one last quick thing, runs back downstairs again.
What do you do when you get downstairs, Bobbit?
Obviously, quickly say goodbyes to Blinky and
give him a hug.
Yep.
Run back upstairs.
Just stay down here. Just stay down here, though. You can have all the basement to yourself, and Bobbit will be back soon. Bye, Blinky.
I have to ask something.
Yep.
When will Blinky be bigger?
He won't really grow bigger. Gazers kind of stay that size.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They don't like grow into beholders or something. They just stay that size.
Because I've been drawing a picture of Bobbit.
Well, now I'm gonna find a way to make him bigger. Don't worry.
Bobbit just used enlarge. It's fine.
Yeah, Bobbit just used enlarge on him. It's fine. You make your way out of Trollskull Manor and emerge into the already bustling streets of Waterdeep. Today is another typical late spring day. Hot, humid, and with thin wisps of mist already settling above the ground. You make your way through the busy streets and come to the eastern gate, which leads out into the outlying farms. The gate is open, and there are streams of travellers passing through on both directions. And so, when it comes your turn, the city guard simply looks at you. He nods and says, Nathal, Sir Lucian, best wishes of the day to you, and ushers you through the gate.
I just nod my head at them in acknowledgement.
And so you make your way out into Undercliff, so named because it exists under the shadow of Waterdeep's easternmost cliff face, and the main area for farming in this region of the north, aside from golden fields. But it certainly supplies Waterdeep with the majority of its food, and with summer along the way, all of the farms are in clear swing, crops growing high and stretching out before you almost to the horizon as the farmers of Waterdeep work hard to produce the food that will sustain the city through the winter. And as you walk through this area, you realise you had no idea just how big the farming area of Waterdeep is. Looking around you, you can see crops and farm crops and orchards, dirt roads and homesteads stretching out around you in every direction for at least 50 to 100, at least 50 miles. These farms stretching on well past the city limits and into the wilderness beyond. Finding a farm that has been terrorized by these scarecrows will be no easy task. So how would you like to go about doing this?
I'm gonna take to the air.
Take to the air? Very well.
Does Bulb wanna come with? Bulb wanna come with me.
No, I was going to ask, can we find somewhere where the most recent attack is?
Yes, although you'd either have to scout around and try to look for it, which I guess is what Ava is doing, or you could ask around some of the local farmhands and peasants and see what they've heard about the attacks, and they might point you in the right direction.
Suggest to the party that Ava searches on the air while Bobbit does his charm and asks.
Tries to get some information.
Because when we find a place that has been disturbed by these scarecrows, I would like to wild shape into a dog with a really good sense of smell and try to track it.
Good idea. Very well, Ava, I'd like you to do a perception check with advantage as you are in the air.
I mean, that's if everyone else wanted to do that. That was just my suggestion.
Well, yeah, asking for information while Ava scouts around is a good option.
So 16 plus 4.
16 plus 4, yep, 23. You inform the others of your plan, and then you stretch out your wings and take to the air, circling around the region of Undercliff, trying to find anything that is out of the ordinary. And
Find something, will there be a secret call?
Caw-caw! Yeah, you'll hear me. I'm a big fucking bird, you're gonna hear me.
you circle around, and at first you see nothing, but then you notice, near the north side of Undercliff, what appears to be an apple orchard, where you notice that the boundary fence appears to have been trampled, and one of the trees has been damaged to the point that it is bent over double, nearly lying horizontally on the floor, and its neighbour is completely missing, leaving nothing but a small stump where it used to be.
Hell, kind of okay.
Meanwhile, the rest of you are asking around Undercliff, and so you're tasking Bobbit with this.
Can I give Bobbit advantage because I'm the city guard?
Yes. So, Bobbit, I would like you to do a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh, so it'll be fun. Ooh, that's gonna be a 23.
Hey.
A 23. Okay. Bobbit. With Narthel helping you out, flashing his city guard badge, and Sir Lucian just standing on, looking important, you strum up conversations with several peasants and farmhands. And at first they're reluctant to pass on any information, or they brush you off, saying they're busy. But after a while, you do find some of them end up being receptive to you. And you question them about the scarecrow attacks and any of the rumours surrounding it. And you glean the following. One peasant tells you that they witnessed one of the attacks, or, well, more accurately, a friend of a friend of a friend witnessed one of the attacks, and they saw not one but 3 scarecrows terrorizing a farm. One of them wearing a sackcloth hood, another with a rotting pumpkin for a head, and the third covered with a threadbare blanket.
Thanks, mister.
Now, Bulb, now that would you like to make your own lines of inquiry? Perhaps making a nature check to see if you can glean a couple more details from some of the farmhands about the nature of these scarecrows.
Sure. Oh, that's not going to be as good as before. That's only a 7.
Only a 7? Oh, that's fine. You... After Bobbitt's done questioning them, you... go up to some of the farmhands and ask some questions of your own, trying to glean any information that might help you determine the nature of these creatures. You know, how they moved, what they may have looked like aside from the details you were given, and unfortunately, despite your best efforts, you are unable to get anyone to tell you any information that would be of use. The only thing you are able to glean is that the majority of the attacks seem to have occurred to the northern side of Undercliff, and that usually the scarecrows do not steal anything, but rather they simply demolish crops or mutilate cattle.
Battle mutilation.
After you're done questioning the locals, you see Ava flying overhead. She descends just low enough to point you to the north, beckoning you to follow her. And you spend about an hour walking over the fields to the northern side of Undercliff, where Ava leads you to a small apple orchard just off one of the main dirt tracks leading through the farming area, but quite a ways away from the civilized portion of Waterdeep, and far from the protection of the city guards. When you arrive, Ava drops down beside you and gestures towards the damaged fence and the trampled tree just inside the orchard. In addition to these, there is a small thatched cottage on the edge of the orchard, presumably where the owner of the orchard lives. At the moment, you see that the door is shut tightly and the windows are closed, indicating that the owner of the orchard is either not home or is not eager to speak to anyone.
Are we all together?
Yes.
Okay, good. Can I survey around the house and just either see if there's any windows or like markings of any description?
You sure can. Make an investigate check, please.
Okay. Do I have investigation? No, and I don't get any bonuses for crap. That's a 10.
It's a 10. You take a quick walk around the thatched cottage, and you find nothing out of the ordinary. There is another window at the back, but it is closed, just like the other one. You can hear no movement from inside the cottage. However, there are no signs that any foul play has occurred.
Alright, I would like to, not like bang on the door, but very loudly knock on the door. Open up in the name of the city guard.
I'd like you to make a charisma check, please.
While he's doing that, can I wild shape into a mastiff and start sniffing around?
You
And
sure
then
can.
16.
15, okay.
No, 16.
And Bobbit, check the tree for one of the fallen trees to see if there's any apples around it.
Sure. Bobbit, you may make a perception check. Meanwhile, Bulb, I'd like you to make a survival check with advantage.
I got a 10 for mine.
Okay, survival check with advantage. Another dice. Come on, green dice, don't fuck me over today. Well, you didn't. That's 11 plus 3, so 14.
14. Okay, so first of all, Bulb, you wild shape into a large mastiff and begin sniffing the ground around the fallen tree at the edge of the orchard and next to the collapsed fence. And you pick up a very weird scent. There is no scent. It is not the scent of a human, or indeed even of any animal or woodland monster. The scent is a scent of dung and flour and decay. Almost as smelling almost like a pile of rubbish.
So Dan Cooper's been here.
Okay, well, I would just like to carefully follow it, like 100 feet or something, while everyone else is doing the rest of their stuff.
Yep. You follow it out of the orchard, and you follow the smell, and it eventually heads over a nearby hill, and to the direction of a distant tree line of a copse of woods.
Okay.
And as you get closer, the stench of decaying rubbish grows slightly stronger.
Okay, well, I would like to head back to the party and just start circling a spot to try and get their attention while they're doing their stuff.
Yep. Now, Bobbit...
Because I only have an hour.
That's true. Now, Bobbit, you crouch over the bent tree and start looking at it for apples. And indeed, you find a whole number of apples scattered across the floor. It appears whoever did this was not interested in them. Some of them are crushed Yes, but Bobbit is.
Yep.
You notice that several of the apples are intact, but the majority of them are in pieces, as if they were smushed underfoot by a blunt object. You also notice, in the dirt next to the tree, what looks like a series of tracks. Not looking like any footprints you've ever seen, the tracks appear to be small circular indentations into the dirt, as if someone was poking the dirt with a wooden stick as they walked along. You also notice, caught on the end of a branch of one of the apple trees, a small patch of what appears to be fabric. Upon closer inspection, it appears to be a piece of a hessian sack, and you can just make out the first 3 letters of the word flower.
Well, isn't that interesting? Okay, so Bobbit's gonna take that plus any intact apples that might be nearby, just in case.
Yep.
If there are any.
Yeah, there's a couple. You can get 1d3.
Okay. I got 2.
Yep. Meanwhile, Narthel is still knocking on the cottage door, and eventually you hear some movement on the other side, and then a very timid woman's voice states, "City guard, you said?"
Yeah, city guard, open up.
"Are you here about my orchard being attacked?"
Are we?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
You hear the sound of the door being unlocked, and then it's pushed open, and a hunchbacked old lady of about 60 to 70 years with a brown scarf wrapped around her head beckons for you to come inside the cottage. She heads over to a threadbare, crudely carved wooden table, takes a seat, and then looks at both Lucian and Nathal. She says, "You I recognize with the city guard's armor, but you..." She looks over at Lucian. What do you say, Lucian? Lucian simply clears his throat, and he says, "Sir Lucian at your service, and ma'am, we are investigating what has befallen your orchard, and will do our very best to assist you. I would like you, Lucian, to please make a charisma check with advantage, as your noble name..." It's with advantage, so you may do it a second time. Lovely. So that's a 16 all up. As your noble name holds a lot of weight with these peasants. She says, "Oh, Sir Lucian, the officer of the army and the city guard, here to help me. Well, far be it for me to say you took a long time before the pleas of the farmers reached your ears, but you're here now, and what a privilege to be assisted by Sir Lucian himself. I'll tell you anything you need to know." She leans forward eagerly. What do you ask of her, Nathal?
Well, I'm gonna get Lucian to take this, and I'm just gonna while he's talking, have a survey around the house, because I'm not trusting that it took her this long to respond.
Very well. Make an investigate check, please.
That is a 15 by itself.
15. As Sir Lucian sits down and pours himself a cup of tea from her kettle, you circle around her tiny cottage. She has, aside from the table, a small bed to sleep in, a roughly hewn wooden cabinet containing her meagre belongings, including a couple of chipped stone plates, some cutlery, and what appears to be a piece of jewellery, a golden necklace of sorts, but browned with age, perhaps the only vaguely valuable thing she owns. You notice that she appears to have boarded up both windows with large sheets of timber, as if trying to protect herself from anything breaking in.
No, I don't have detect magic shit. Thought I did.
Sir Lucian, what questions would you like to ask of this old lady about the scarecrows?
If anyone's still here.
What's their natured purpose? Should we fear them? Should we be prepared for them? Is there any past history that we don't know about or they haven't alluded to yet?
She attacks. She takes a sip of... She doesn't attack you. She takes a sip of her tea, and she says, "Well, I would have been afraid to divulge all the details to anyone else, but with Sir Lucian and his servants in the city guard here looking after me, I feel as if I'm safe at last." She gestures towards the boarded-up windows, and she says, "Yes, I was attacked last night. There were at least 3 of them from what I could see. I saw them out there in the orchard, and I boarded up the windows so they could not get to me. My son assisted, and indeed he said he would go after them, even though I told him to stay well away. They seemed to be only interested in doing as much damage to the orchard as they could. They managed to smash one of the trees and completely demolish another before my son ran out there, brandishing the woodcutting axe. This prompted them to depart. They broke through the fence and went back where they came from. My son went after them, and the sun eventually came up, and he did not return. And despite the efforts I went to board up my house to prevent the monsters from getting in and attacking us, it seems no effort was made to break in. Indeed, several other farmers who've had similar experiences have reported the same, that the monsters will simply damage their crops or kill cattle, but have made no hostilities towards the farmers unless the farmers attack the scarecrows first.
Do you know why they're targeting the orchards?
She says, I do not know for sure, but... Well, I was going to keep this secret, but with Sir Lucian here, I think I can divulge it. As my son and I watched them lay waste to our orchard, we looked out of the window, and before we boarded it up, we caught what appeared to be a shadow of a man, or at least something with the shape of a man, watching the proceedings from the top of the hill outside. When my son went out to attack the scarecrows, the man simply turned and walked away. She says, is there anything else that I may assist you with?
Anyone?
Lance just saw the tape.
And I'm a dog.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
Well,
And
That's
am
all
I-
right.
am I there?
Ava, you can be in the cottage with them, or you can be outside, because you didn't do anything while Bobbert and Remy were doing things. You didn't do anything, so you can be here in the cottage if you'd like to ask a question.
No, I would think that I would be outside.
Aha.
Investigation.
Investigation come back. So
However, do you have nature, Ava?
Yes, I do. I took it.
As you look around, you notice that aside from the farms, this place is quite far removed from the hustle and bustle of Waterdeep, and with the surrounding hills and woods, it appears to be quite a quiet and quaint area. And so, you head into the cottage, and you ask... I'd like you to make a nature check, please.
I'll remember to use dice this time. What'd I get?
that is a 15.
15 plus 4.
19.
You walk into the cottage to inform the others of this, and you hear the old lady finishing her story about the man standing at the top of the hill. You sit down next to her, and you speak so that she and the others may hear. And you quickly describe that, aside from the farms, there doesn't appear to be any sign of civilization in this area. And indeed, this is quite a distance away from the city limits, from what you would call the limits of civilization. And you ask how this area could have remained so untouched all this time. And the old lady nods and she says, well, yes, it is a quite peaceful area, isn't it? You see, all of the farms here are a recent expansion from the city of Waterdeep. Undercliff used to be only the part to the south, the shadow of everything that existed under the shadow of Waterdeep's easternmost cliff. Everything you see in this northern area has only existed for less than a year. She says prior to that, this area was the territory of a circle of druids who were proponents of protecting the wilderness against the onset of civilization. But some time ago, the archdruid of that circle perished, and with that the circle disbanded. And with the circle no longer preventing the city from expanding, the Council of Waterdeep began to zone this area as farming land and began to pay us farmhands subsidies to set up farms and orchards in this area. And it was going very well, of course, until those scarecrows began to attack nary more than a 10-day or two ago.
And I looked at her like Skip. and go, do you think that maybe there was a reason they didn't want you to farm here?
She looks at you thoughtfully for a moment, and she says, well, the prevailing opinion amongst most of the farmers and anyone from the city who occasionally travelled through Undercliff was that the druids were, to put it frankly, full of hot air. After all, according to the Council of Waterdeep, what purpose does arable land exist for other than to feed the people? It would be a waste to leave the land alone when there are many in Waterdeep and cities just like it who struggle to find a good meal.
I'm hearing this in...
I look at her with disgust, and go, well, obviously they weren't full of hot air.
And feeling very conflicted at the moment. But position in the city guard, and yet they've destroyed native land, stuff like that. So
obviously protected land. That was protected for a reason.
Yeah. So Nathal's starting to feel very conflicted about his life choices.
Before you have a chance to say anything else, you hear a barking of a dog from outside. And as you stand up and thank the old lady for her time, you step outside and see the mastiff form of Bulb running across the orchard towards you, barking loudly and wagging his tail. And as he runs past Bobbit simply shouts, "Doggy!"
Same though.
Bulb starts circling, he circles twice and then starts jogging, following the scent trail.
Quick, after the pooch!
Do you follow him?
I fly up and follow him.
Very well. Okay. Bobbit, do you point out the tracks you found to anyone as they run past with Bulb? Because, this may make following the scent a little bit easier.
He's muted himself.
Ah, he's
Whoops,
muted.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
Forgot about that. That would point out the information to both Bulb and Nathal, and kudos for guessing that I yelled doggy, because I didn't realise I was muted and said the exact thing right before you did.
Okay.
Can I hug the dog? When can I hug the dog?
You could reach out and hug him, if he lets you.
You can try. I'm currently jogging, trying to conserve time following the trail.
It's like very briefly points out and then goes back after
Actually, no. I stopped very briefly next to Bobbit and chucked my head back.
I would just imagine, like, Bobbit just disappearing and reappearing on...
Yeah.
Okay, so Bobbit,
I was gonna say he's big enough.
Bobbit points
Oh, yeah,
out the
that's
tracks
right.
as he pats the dog, and then Bulb, or at least the dog version of Bulb, begins to lead you out of the orchard and over the nearby hill. Bulb, I'd like you to make a survival check with advantage, please.
My ever-searching eyes are searching.
They sure are.
That is a 23.
That is a 23. Okay, you lead the party over the hill and through an adjoining field, through a wheat field, and towards the tree line of the copse of woods on the other side. Ava, you're in the air, so I would like you to make a perception check with advantage to keep the party and Bulb in your sight, and follow along in the air.
Oh, jeez.
13.
13, that's enough. You just flap
Hey.
your wings flying overhead, seeing the small brown dot or speck that is Bulb, and just keeping him in sight as you follow him over the hill, across a wheat field, and towards a small patch of woods. The rest of you, I'd like you to make dex checks to keep up with Bulb, with advantage, as Bobbit did point out the tracks to follow.
What is my
Well,
deck?
22.
22, lovely.
I don't, because I fly at 50 feet. Like,
Yeah, you don't. You're in the air. You don't have to make them.
Yeah, just up on
Alright.
the ground.
When I make flat checks or anything, do I add...
Just your dex
What-
mod.
You just
Yep, that's a pass, M1.
19.
19. Okay, good. How did Bobbit do?
Well, I rolled an 18 and a 19, so plus 3, that's 22. So Bob is just scampering after Bulb as fast as he can.
Alright, I will roll for Moon.
Oh, that's right.
'Cause-
she's with us.
Yep.
Why Moon
We'll
Moon
say-
is-
We'll say Mickey decided to, instead of accompanying you on this task, decided to head to the Opera House to provide them with an in-depth critique of the writing, various plot holes and writing errors he observed in last night's
This
performance.
guy's gonna be freaked out. They're just sitting there minding their own business. A freaking mushroom guy walks in going, "Look here, you."
Because he has told you that he has told you many times that he has a way with words and takes that stuff very much seriously. And let's see, and... Oh, I keep doing the wrong command because it's been so long. Whoops. Okay, yep, that's a pass for Moon. Okay. Eventually you reach the copse of woods. The tree line of twisted, jagged trees, seeming to block out the sunlight on the other side. Beyond the tree trunks, you could see nothing but shadow, and this natural barrier of twisting branches, tree trunks, and overgrown foliage seems such a vast, damn it. Brain, why did you do this to me?
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. Seems such a vast contrast to the mainly calm and settled farmland you just came from. This part of the wilderness is indeed untouched, and it looks as if nobody from Undercliff has set foot here in a long time, if ever. Bulb, do you remain in Mastiff shape?
Well, as long as I still have time left, then yes, because I want to keep following the smell.
Yep, took about 40 minutes to get here. Anyone
I've
wish
still
to...
got 20 minutes.
Yep, anyone wish to do anything before you descend into the woods?
Survey the area.
Very well. I'd like you to make a perception check with disadvantage, please, Ava.
That was that one.
Oh shit.
You hover over the woods, but you find the canopy of the treetops so dense that there's no way you could see anything in the woods. And so the party's only option is to enter the woods on foot.
Can't see the forest from the trees.
Yep.
Alright,
would
who
like
is the
perception
lowest
roll.
AC?
13. AC? Probably me as the Mastiff of 12.
Oh, so you're still saying rest?
I got 16.
What are we talking about?
AC.
Lowest AC.
Yeah, he just wants to know.
Mine's 14.
14? Okay.
I think I have higher
I'm not-
fucking AC. Oh no, I have the same AC as a Mastiff as I do as a fucking...
Okay, who wants Shield of Faith?
Ooh, who wants a +2?
Don't cast it now, because it'll run out by the time you get to combat. Because remember, it only lasts...
Screwed.
Yeah.
It only lasts 10 minutes or something.
Yeah. Well, if you run into combat within 10 minutes, that'll be fine, but it'll be best to save it
I
for
thought it was concentration.
10
but
minutes
still it's
while
time
maintaining
for
concentration. Yeah.
Oh,
It is
okay.
concentration, but it's still only a maximum of 10 minutes. So, it might be better saved as an action if you get into combat.
Yeah.
Alright, if anyone else has nothing they'd like to do, the party steps into the woods. And as you step past the tree line into the woods, your nostrils are suddenly assaulted by the stench of the wilderness, moisture, overgrown trees and moss spreading across the ground and tree trunks around you. That earthy smell that cannot be described, but mingling with it, something only odd at first, but the more you focus on it, you realize it's something that begins to fill your lungs and make you almost retch. The nearly overpowering stench of a rubbish tip.
Ava has
Oh.
bad feels. She's gonna ready her weapon.
If you wish to remain in Mastiff mode, Bulb, following the scent in here will be done at disadvantage, because the smells of the forest and the fact that the smell you are following has grown so strong, and all these smells intermingling together will make it much more difficult to follow it.
Would I be able to help him with my birdie beak?
Ah yes, with your cassowary, yes.
Yeah.
Neat.
What is your cassowary doing during all this?
Just assume she's always riding it. It's just... Yeah.
Flying.
Yeah, it's just when she enters combat, she jumps off it, and unless she calls it to help her in combat, it doesn't do anything. Because that's how
Yeah.
mounts work. Yeah.
Oh my
So-
god, I just had a visual image of me calling cassowary during battle, and it just coming up and going, meep meep.
So Bulb wouldn't be used to the smells of the nature, seeing as
Well-
he grew up.
You are used to the smells, it's just that you're not used to them
Yeah,
as a dog. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not overpowering.
Yeah, I may as well go back to my normal form.
Very well. Okay.
Oh,
Well, we're gonna need to do a skill challenge here. So how a skill challenge works, because we didn't do one in the last campaign, is I'm going to get you guys at random to make group skill checks, and if you get 5 successes before you get 3 failures, you pass. So first off, I would like the party to please make a nature check as you look around this gnarly tree line and try to find any sort of trail or path that will allow you to pass through the foliage.
15 for Bob.
11 for me.
11.
14 for Bobbit.
14 for Bobbit. I'll
9
do
for me.
9. Okay. I'll roll
All
for
of us don't fucking like me. Should have brought my
23 for Sir Lucian. Okay, so that is one pass. You look around and you manage to find a portion of the woods where the trees are slightly more spread out. Enough that you're able to move through the woods without brushing against the branches and tree trunks and scratching yourselves. Next, I would like the group to make a survival check, please, to attempt to locate and follow the tracks that Bobbit found earlier. And Bobbit, you may...
17.
Yep, I was going to say, Bobbit, you can do it with advantage because you found the tracks originally.
17.
17. 12.
blow on the dice to make it lucky.
12, okay.
I will. What's 7 plus 6?
Oh, no, it's 17.
Oh, 17.
That's a pass from Sir Lucian. Okay, 2 group passes.
Plus 6.
Yeah, 2 group passes so far.
Yay!
You look around and Bobbit points at a spot covered under a patch of dead leaves. You brush them out of the way, and there in the moss, you see these circular holes, the tracks that Bobbit discovered, and you continue to follow them deeper into the woods. I would like... You follow the tracks as the woods get deeper and deeper, as the canopy draws in overhead and seems to blot out all of the sunlight from outside. You are so intent on following the tracks and trying to continuously find ways to squeeze through the heavily clumped together trees that you do not notice you are about to walk into a small ravine approximately 2 to 3 feet down. I'd like everybody to make acrobatics checks, please.
Hey!
That's only an 8 for Bob.
Oh, I got an 18.
Oh.
Actually, wait,
which
19.
one?
And Ava, you can do yours with advantage because you can just fly. You just spread your wings.
True that.
You can. What was 4 to...
That's already got your proficiency added. So all you have to do is add that to your die.
I'll just have preferred follows proficiency and mod.
No, it's already been added up for you.
Okay, well, either way, that's a fail. Shit.
Alright, well that's 1 fail.
Oh, Bob got an 8.
8, 2 fails. Okay, let me do Sir Lucian.
Ooh, nice. 19.
Okay,
Or
so Lucian
23.
also failed. And let me see,
I got
Moon.
23.
You're fine. Let me see, Moon passes. Okay, so Bulb, and it's a group pass overall, but Bulb, Narthel, and Sir Lucian each take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as you
6?
fall.
Damn.
Yes, as you fall face first into the ditch. The rest of you manage to right yourselves just enough to jump over it. And then you...
I was gonna say, because I'm small, could I just jump on Narthel and then bounce over since I passed?
Yes, that's what you do. And then you help the others... And then you help the others out of the ditch as they brush dirt off their clothes and look at you with some embarrassment. You continue following the tracks into the woods. Things are uneventful for about 20 more minutes. Then suddenly, the tracks abruptly stop. You come to a large cliff face, cutting through the woods. And you have no idea where to go next. I would like the party to do an investigate check, please.
God fucking
On-
damn it, it's that one.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural
14.
20, 14.
7.
Be gone, dice.
Dice jail.
Dice jail.
Off to jail.
Oh shit,
There's dice in there.
Alright,
okay,
let's
you
see.
have redeemed yourself. For now.
I will be right back.
And let's see, Sir Lucian passed. Let's see, Moon.
While Remy is be right back, I'm gonna be right back because I need to pee.
That's fine, that's fine. What's she got on her int? 3. Okay, another group pass.
Woo!
You look around the immediate vicinity, trying to find where the tracks could have gone. Then you notice something. Tiny little scratch marks in the sheer cliff face. As if something, creating a lot of scratches along the way, roughly hoisted itself up the sheer rock. You determine that this is where the scarecrows went. And so, you decide to climb the cliff. So I would like everybody to make an athletics check, please, except for Ava, who simply spreads her wings and flies up, perching at the top of the cliff.
This is where I shine.
This is where Bobbit fails.
And
That's
that
a
is a
4.
19.
19.
19.
4. You're a 10-year-old to climb a cliff. What do we expect here?
Bobbit got a 4. Let's see how Lucian does. Well, he's got proficiency in that, so that's going to be... Okay, Lucian passes.
God. Could have done that one-handed to show off.
Yeah, he's really strong. Yep.
You don't need to make a check.
Yeah, you don't need to make a check, because you automatically pass, because you're just spreading your wings and flying up to the top of the cliff. Now we're just waiting on Bulb. I'll just do Moon's. Apparently she can't climb either.
Yay, Bobbit's not alone.
Is Ava gonna have to help everyone?
She will in a minute. Just wait for Bulb to do his check to see.
I can only carry some of you.
Because we've had 3 fails and 2 passes, so Bulb needs to... It basically rests on Bulb here.
Oh, no pressure.
Oh.
That sounds like the Remy.
Yep.
Okay, what was...
Alright,
last
Bulb. Party is determined that the scarecrows have forced themselves up the cliff face, and you're attempting to climb it. You need to make an athletics check, and the outcome of the group check relies on you, because we've had 3 fails and 2 passes.
Everybody falls off the cliff. I got a 4.
Alright.
Sorry. Strength
Which
is my best.
attempt to climb the cliff, but the face, aside from Ava, who could simply fly up there, the cliff face is far too steep to be able to get a good foothold on it. And indeed, Bobbit, Bulb, and Veska only get about a quarter of the way up before they lose their footing and fall off. Bulb, Veska, and Bobbit each take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. You will need to find an alternate way around. Please make a group survival check.
13.
13, that's a pass.
19.
19, that's a pass.
What's that?
That's a... I can do it. That's 6 or 9. I can never tell what lines.
No.
Bad Bobbit.
9, okay.
Okay, so Lucian passes.
5 plus 6, so 15.
15, that's a pass, and it doesn't matter if Moon passes or not, because that's a group pass. You circumnavigate around the cliff face and find a portion of the woods where the cliff face smoothens out and eventually turns into a hill that you can easily walk up. It is a fair way off the trail, and it makes your journey take a little bit longer, at least another hour, as you scale the hill and then try to find the trail again. But eventually you get back onto the trail, and the rest of your journey into the woods passes without trouble. After what seems like several hours, the woods even out, revealing some sort of clearing, littered with large boulders and trees that are spaced very far apart from each other. In the middle of the clearing, towering above you, is a large hill, boulders scattering the side of it, making parts of the hill's top and the hill's face hard to see due to the scattered cover. As you approach the hill and the high noon sun already shines in the sky above you, you once again smell that horrifying stench of garbage. I'd like you all to make a con save, please.
12. What is that? 2.
20, not now.
No, I just need to see the numbers. That's 3, that's a 13.
13, okay. Need a 12 to pass.
Yay!
Oh, I got a 12. Hey.
Hey, there you go.
God damn it, I got 11.
Aww.
Let's see how Sir Lucian goes. What's his con? 4.
Was strong. No, it was too strong for my birdie.
Oh, Sir Lucian failed. Okay, so Lucian and Ava, you have a level of exhaustion as the stench fills your nostrils and causes you to immediately double over and throw up into the grass at the base of the hill. You begin to ascend. Yep. You begin to ascend the hill, and soon you pinpoint the source of the stench. Old rubbish and refuse scattered everywhere. Rotting fruit and pumpkins, half-eaten food that is at least weeks old, sacks of flour and coal and cattle feed left broken and rotting in the undergrowth. Several what appear to be scarecrows, half assembled but broken, lying rotting in the grass. Whatever has been going on in this place, it has turned into a rubbish dump.
Cujo would have loved it.
You begin to climb, you step out into the clearing and begin to scale the hill. You see 3 figures just above you on the side of the hill. As soon as they see you, they begin to make jerky, measured movements down the hill towards you. It appears you have found the scarecrows. I would like you to roll for initiative, please.
10. Oh, yeah. 14.
14. 10. How did Ava go?
22.
22 for Ava, wow. And how did Bulb go?
10.
10. Okay.
Yeah, 10.
And Moon. Alright, so Bulb is faster than Bobbit, so he goes at 11. And Moon will go at the...
What's Bobbitt's dex?
Mine's +3.
Yeah, you're faster than me.
Oh, okay, so we'll swap those around. Bobbit goes at 11, and Bulb goes at 10. Okay. Alright, I'll get the music and the map. Music, bear with me, it's all coming back to me. Everything's taking a bit faster, slower than usual because of the fact that we've been taking a break.
Mm-hmm.
And
All
here
good.
comes the
Yeah,
music.
we need new stuff to stream that. Well, not to stream this, but to play this.
Yes. Okay, the cue, please. Okay, and here comes the battle map.
Bulb is pretty much the exact opposite of what Milo was. Slow, weak, but high intelligence and wisdom.
Yeah.
Apparently Dale and I need to work out a hermit discovery.
Wait, what?
I was just reading up on the hermit. So, because I'm a hermit.
Oh.
Okay. Alright, Ava, you are up first. You see the 3 scarecrows waiting just up the hill.
Will spell of minor restoration work on exhaustion?
Yeah. Well, it should.
Please does.
What are you trying to do with it?
Remove my level of exhaustion.
Ah, yes, it will. Yes, you can cast it to remove your level of exhaustion. That'll be your action, save for your move and bonus actions, of course.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. And then fly up as far as I can.
Yep, just straight up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And move. I'll move.
Where would you like to move? I mean, you do still have your bonus action, so you can go next to one of the scarecrows and get a bonus attack with your second short sword.
Oh, can I do that without making a weapon with my...
Yeah, you can attack with your second weapon as a bonus action at any time.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do that then.
Yep, Scarecrow 2.
Yeah.
Okay, roll to hit him, please.
Oof.
What was that?
3.
3 plus 6.
Remember, oh yeah, it's only damage against no mod. You still get your proficiency and dex mod for the attack roll.
I've got it written down.
Yep.
So 9?
9. You fly up the side of the hill and brandish the short sword held in your offhand, and you swing at the scarecrow. But the thing is surprisingly nimble, and despite its body being made of wooden sticks and old hessian sacks, it ducks. Narthel, you are up.
I'd like to cast Shield on Faith. Shield of Faith on Bobbit.
On Bobbit, very well. That's a bonus action, because Shield of Faith is a bonus action, so you get your normal action and your movement.
So normal action is not an attack, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
normal action
no,
is an
that's
attack. So you can move up to... You can't see any of the scarecrow's precise location, however you can move up to where Ava is, knowing that there's a scarecrow there.
Yeah, that's gonna be my plan.
Alright, up we go. Scarecrow 2, roll to hit him.
Oh, goddamn, okay, that is, 4 plus 9...
15.
I forgot about my natural
15.
explorer feature.
Oh, hold on. Computer just froze.
Yep.
Yeah, 13. I believe that's a miss.
13, let me see. No, it's a hit for a scarecrow. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yes. Shit. Okay,
Do you guys like the new map?
2d6. Yeah.
It's an interesting
Yeah.
twist. I like it.
Very interesting.
7 plus
What do you...
12.
12 points of damage, not
Oh,
bad.
damage.
You rush forwards with your great axe and slam it into the empty flour sack serving as the scarecrow's body. You scatter hay and old mouldy flour everywhere. The scarecrow stumbles but stays on its feet. Okay, it's the enemy's turn. The scarecrow is going to make a multi-attack. The first one goes out against Narthel and hits. Okay, Narthel, you take...
That's scary.
You take... He only just hit you. Like, he just got 21.
That's still
Because
scary.
he rolled 19, and then plus 2, so he got 21. Okay, you take 5 points of slashing damage, Narthel, and you also need to now make a wisdom save, please. DC 11.
Oh?
Wisdom save, you say?
Yep,
7. That's a fail.
that's a fail, but you are a paladin and are immune to fear. So even though you failed the save and the scarecrow's rotting jack-o'-lantern head begins to laugh, you ignore it and grip your great axe firmly. It makes its second claw attack on Ava.
And I'm still in the air.
Yep, and Ava, you swoop out of the way.
Still.
Okay, it is Scarecrow number 1's turn. It slowly plods down the hill
Oh, wow.
towards Bobbit. However, it's not close enough to make an attack. It turns towards Bobbit, and its eyes, carved into the rotting pumpkin, begin to glow as if a flame burns on the other side. I would like you to make a DC 11 Wisdom save, please, Bobbit, as the Scarecrow uses its terrifying glare on you.
Boogie, 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 boogie.
This is going to be interesting, because I don't have anything to wisdom this time around. That's a 9. Well, Bobbit gets to be scared again.
Okay, Bobbit is frightened. At
Ages
this
again.
point, Bobbit runs the opposite direction as far as he could go, which is basically just the other side of Bulb. And you can now see Scarecrow 3.
Hiding behind Bulb.
Yep.
Aww. Why do I have to keep getting spun?
Scarecrow 3 moves up. And it makes...
You're a small child.
You are. And it makes both of its multi-attack claw attacks against Ava. And it hits Ava 1 time.
Did you do disadvantage?
Yes, with disadvantage. Okay. Ava, you are taking 7 points of slashing damage. And you need to make a DC 11 Wisdom save, please.
Yeah, that's a work pen.
Actually,
Actually, hold on.
it's fine, I'll just slide in.
What? It's working again.
Here we go. So how did she do on her Wisdom save?
Just a sec. What was it? Wisdom.
Yeah, DC 11.
13.
13, you
Yeah.
pass and are not frightened.
No, it's working.
Okay. An unseen enemy moves and readies a reaction. It is Bobbit's turn. Bobbit, you may make another Wisdom save to try to not be scared.
Okay, buck up, little buddy. Let's see what we got. That's going to be a 17.
Okay, you are no longer frightened. Bobbit, it is your turn.
Hooray! Eldritch blast the crap out of Scarecrow.
Alright. Now, even though you are in control of yourself, you still have the frightened state. So, while Scarecrow 1 remains visible to you, you have disadvantage on all attack rolls and skill checks.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
So-
bloody hell. Okay.
So which one are you going for? 1 or 3?
So it's disadvantage regardless of which one I attack, correct?
Yes, because you could still see the source of your fear. It's just we've never actually had a situation where someone's broken out of the fear while it's still in effect.
True. Alright, I guess I can try for one, see what happens.
Yep, go ahead.
I really wish you hadn't given me disadvantage because I rolled a 10 and a 20. So.
Does the
could
10
be
get
16.
your... Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
hit.
it's 16.
It's a hit,
Yeah, I got a 10 and a nat 20, but
but you
Alright,
still
so
get...
it's gonna
Yep, go
be-
ahead, roll your damage.
so that's going to be 11 points of damage. So basically, Bobbit's sort of like carrying behind Bulb, just waves her hand and throws an Eldritch Blast that oddly now takes the shape of a small gazer as it rushes across to smack him in the chest.
The small violet gazer flies across the field and smashes into the Scarecrow's chest, nearly knocking it off its feet. Would you like to move anywhere, Bobbit? You can't move towards Scarecrow 1, but you can move anywhere else.
I'm good hiding behind Bulb. This is fine.
Then if you'd like to move somewhere where you can't see Scarecrow 1, then...
That actually, that might be a good idea actually. Can I move down to where like Nathal and Ava are? Maybe like a little bit away, so I'm not
Very well. Like up,
directly in the line of fire.
like up here?
Yeah, that could work. That could work.
There we go. You're no longer frightened.
Hooray!
And that's the end of Bobbit's turn. Okay, next up we have Bulb.
First off, I just have a question.
Yep,
Paladins are immune to fear?
they sure are.
Where does it say that? I never saw that for Milo.
They're immune to fear. Well, they've always been. I'm pretty sure they are. 5e paladins. Yeah, they are.
As far as I know, they are.
Yeah, they've always been. Oh wait, beginning at 3rd level.
No.
All right.
No, he's
Nathal?
frightened then.
Nathal is gonna go and run over here.
Or we could just start for the next round.
Mm.
We could do it that way.
Nathal's running over there.
This opens me up for an attack that couldn't work. So
Alright.
You are a butt.
Bulb, it's
Well,
your turn. What are you doing?
I never saw it before. I would like. Well, I have another question. Sorry.
Yep.
If I were to produce flame and set my armor on fire, would that do anything if something such as a scarecrow made of flammable items were to hit me?
Yes, I would make them roll a save or take fire damage.
Okay, and is using produce flame and infusing it on something a bonus action? Oh no, hold on. No, sorry,
No.
it's a cantrip that's an action. So no,
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. It's
either
only
way,
it's only it only counts if you're doing as part of a melee attack, like infusing a
Yeah,
sword and then hitting something, which is what
Okay.
Nargle used to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fine.
one action to produce the cantrip.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
another
saw
action
it.
to Put it on the weapon.
I would like to run up to the square that is to the bottom left of Scarecrow number 2.
Yep.
And Ava's in the air, isn't she?
Yeah, but still low enough that things can hit her and that she can hit things.
Okay, so would Burning Hands hit her if I were to cast it at Scarecrow 2 and Scarecrow 3?
Yeah.
There's a chance it would, yes.
Ooh. What's your dexterity, Ava?
19. 19.
Yeah, I'm going to cast Burning Hands in direction of Scarecrow 2 and Scarecrow 3.
Scarecrow 2 and Scarecrow 3, very well. I will roll their dex saves.
And if Ava is going to get hit within a 15-foot cone, then...
Yeah, she will be hit, so she needs to roll a dex save. Both Scarecrows failed, by the way.
Cool.
I got 14.
14, so my...
Oh, wait,
yeah,
no,
I guess you need to know my spell save. Spell save
Yeah.
is 13.
Oh, I got
Oh, he-
16.
So did they still
Hooray.
fail?
No, she.
Yeah,
No, not Ava,
both
but-
Scarecrows failed.
Cool, so that's 3d6 damage on
Alright.
a failed save, and unfortunately half damage
For
on a
Ava.
successful one.
Yep, go ahead and roll that.
That is 13.
13, a good hit.
And would scarecrows be
Let me
fire, or are
check.
they not?
They sure are. So double that, please.
Dear God.
So 26 damage to the scarecrows, and if you are remembering correctly, it's always rounded down, so it's 6 damage to Ava.
Yep, Scarecrow 2 falls to the ground, a burning sack scorching the grass.
Also, I found a minor bug with this map thing.
Yeah.
I can see the name of one of the enemies.
Oh, fuck yeah, you can. Whoops. That's okay.
It's okay, it's something that we
Yeah,
just
no
need to
one-
work out.
No one's looked for it yet, so, technically we don't know
Yeah.
it's there.
It's
Yeah,
basically,
I know.
I think it's saying that you know it's there, that like Bulb knows it's
Oh.
there, but yeah.
Maybe when I moved, I must have seen it. Or
Yeah, you must have
maybe
briefly
Bobbit
seen it
did.
when you moved, yeah.
No, it would have been Nathal, because where he is,
Ah, yes.
he's feeding
yes.
around the rock.
Yes.
Hold on, click on me for a second, and we'll just see if that's the case.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Nathal who can see it. Bulb can't.
Yeah,
Yep.
Well, he knows it's there. He can't see its exact location. Okay. Scarecrow 2 is dead. Ava. Oh, wait, no. It is Sir Lucian's turn.
Wait, if Scarecrow 2 is dead, does that mean I'm still afraid?
Nope, you're not afraid anymore. Oh, it's
So
Moon
Scarecrow 3
Moon's
has
turn.
one health.
Moon stays where she is, and she fires a ray of frost at Scarecrow number 1. And she hits, dealing 4 points of damage to it. And it is Sir Lucian's turn. He's going to run up to Scarecrow number 1. And he's going to attack it with his longsword. And he hits it, dealing... Let's see, how much does he deal? Dealing 5 points of damage. Okay, Ava, it is your turn.
Yeah. I will go for that scarecrow that's close to me.
Scarecrow 3, very well. You may attack him from where you are, or you may try to swoop down on the other side and get him.
No, I don't want to go to the other side.
Alright, so just stay where you are, okay.
Yep.
Make your 2 attacks, please.
Okay, that's 21? 22.
20. That's a hit, in either case.
Okay. So that's 6.
6, yep.
Yep, and now I'll do my second attack.
Go ahead.
That was a nat 20.
Nat 20, oh, okay, double it.
So that is 8 times 2.
8 times 2,
So,
16, a
16.
good hit. You stick out your second short sword, stab it into the sack of flour chest, and bring it up, slicing through the rotten pumpkin head. Scarecrow 3 is dead.
Great.
Okay, Nathal, your turn.
Okay, I'd like to run up to Scarecrow 1 and smack the living shit out of it.
Alright, go ahead.
Wait, if you've seen the druid, do you want to let anyone else know that they're there, or?
Well, he doesn't know its exact location, he just knows it's in that vicinity.
Okay.
Okay, that is a 13 plus my strength. 18. No, shit, that's an 18, not a 13. That's 23.
23, that's a hit. Roll for damage.
Uh, 15.
15, a good hit. You slash with your greatsword, snapping off one of the wooden poles it uses as an arm. Okay, it's the enemy's turn. Scarecrow number 1 makes a multi-attack, swinging both times at Narthel. And it hits Narthel one time.
Motherfucker.
Rolling a 19 again. Okay.
I'm pretty sure
To be
it's
fair,
like
this
myself.
was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Sooner or less, something had to start hitting you properly.
And that is 8 points of slashing damage you take. And you must
And I'm
make...
down.
No.
You're down,
down.
okay.
Oh,
Make
wow.
a death save.
I should have just showed faith myself.
You'll be okay. You nearly killed it,
What,
so...
what did you get?
Okay, failed your first death save. Then, we knew he was there. The druid comes out from behind the rock in front of you. And standing in front of Ava and Bulb, it casts Thunder Wave.
Oh, joy.
Oh, what did you?
So I would like Ava and Bulb to please make make Constitution saves.
Constitution save.
Yep.
I thought that.
Did Ava and Bulb, right?
Yep. Not Bobbit.
Excellent.
Oh,
Sweet.
okay. I got 21.
21. That's
16.
definitely a pass. Okay, that's a pass for both of you. Okay, so it's going to be 2d8 and halved. Let's see how much damage you take. Okay, Ava and Bulb each take 3 points of lightning damage. Okay, it is Bobbit's turn.
Okay, so we now definitely see the...
Yep,
druid
you
and
know,
everything
you can
else.
see him, he's right there.
Wonderful. Well, Bobbit would like to, looks at the stuff, thinks about an Eldritch Blast, and then looks down at the lovely necklace that was given to her. I really have to keep remembering that's a her. We really got to write this one
Ah,
down.
the Dark Shard Amulet, yes.
Yes, and decides to channel a cantrip from that instead. So
Alright.
I'm going to need to roll an intelligence check first before I cast whatever I'm aiming for. And that's going to be... Wait, what's my... Now, what's my thing for this? Intelligence plus 2, that's going to be a 20 not nat.
20 not nat on your intelligence, yep. Go ahead and cast that cantrip.
Alright, well I'm going to cast Mind Slither. It's a Tasha's Cauldron cantrip.
Yep.
You drive a disorienting spike of psychic energy into the mind of one creature you see within range. The target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw or take 1d6 psychic damage and then subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn.
Ooh, lovely.
So, intelligence save, please.
Intelligence save on the druid, and that is a fail.
What did it roll?
11.
Oh, yeah. Yep, definite fail. Alright. So, you can enjoy 5 points of psychic damage, and then roll a d4 and subtract whatever it is from your next saving throw it has, they make.
Alright. So I roll that.
Yes, you roll that.
Sorry, so it's a 1d4, and subtract that from the next... Yep, okay, so 3. So its next saving throw it's going to subtract 3 from. Lovely.
It helped.
So Bobbit holds out her hands, and a blast of light hits the druid, and then the druid begins to scream and then chuckle madly as he looks around wildly. Bulb, it is your turn.
Okay, I would like. Can I see? I can see Narthel. Good.
Yep.
I would like to cast Healing Word as my
On
bonus
Narthel?
action.
Yep.
On Narthel. So 60 feet. Yeah, definitely within 60 feet. So that is 1d4 plus my modifier. So that is 6 health. So Narthel's up to 6.
Yep.
Neat. I don't have any bonuses to any of my... No, I do not. Okay, and then I would like to move behind the rock that I'm next to, which for some reason isn't really showing up.
Yeah, you mean...
Well, no, the opposite side of the rock that the druid is on.
Oh, yeah, you mean here.
So
Yep.
it's...
Control I.
so
There we
you
go.
can't-
Oh, there we go. Revealed.
and then...
I was
use
forgetting to
Cure
update
Wounds
the
on
vision every turn. That's
okay.
why it's... See, there we go. This is what the whole party should see now. Alright, so what are you doing, Bulb?
I would then like to cast my final spell slot as Cure Wounds on myself.
Ah, good.
I'm down to less than half health, which is a D8 plus my spell casting.
It is Moon's turn. She steps forwards.
9 health.
Yeah, Moon.
And she fires a magic missile at the druid. Well, 3 of them. And the druid takes... Let me see... 13 points of force damage. But it's not enough to take the druid down. It is Sir Lucian's turn. Sir Lucian swings his longsword at Scarecrow number 1. He nat ones and his sword goes flailing into the grass.
Of course he does.
Classic M1.
Okay, Ava's turn.
Okay, I'm going to use my bonus action to use a healing potion.
Yep.
So I believe that's... Is it 1d4 plus 4?
Yep, 1d4 plus 4.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, 4 are normal healing potions, 2d4 plus 2.
2d4... Oh,
Plus
yeah.
2,
Yeah,
yep.
sorry, yeah. So that was a 4. And 2, so 6, 7, 8. So just a second to add that to my health square. And I will attack the druid with my short sword.
Yep.
Oh, just a sec, actually. I'm gonna see what spells I have. I can't remember what Zephyr Strike does.
Zephyr Strike will... let me just check. Zephyr Strike will make... For the duration of the spell, it lasts 1 minute, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. In addition, the first time you make a weapon attack on your turn before the spell ends, you make the attack roll with advantage.
That's okay.
And it's a bonus action to cast, but you've already used a bonus action.
Yeah. Okay, I shall attack.
Attack, alright, go ahead.
So that was a 17 plus 6.
That's a hit, roll for damage.
Okay, where does the d6 go? Are you holding it? You are. You're holding both.
I was.
And I got 6 plus 4, so 10.
Yep.
And then...
Next attack.
Yeah.
Playing from iPhone.
I got a 14 plus 6. And I can't math what it was.
14 plus 6, 18. 14 plus 6, 20. That's a hit. Roll for damage.
Okay. And that was 7 all up.
7. Another good hit as both of your swords carefully pierce the druid's bark skin. But you do not manage to kill him. Narthel, it is your turn. Climb back onto your feet. I assume you're going to strike Scarecrow 1.
I'm gonna have a potion, thank you.
Ah, potion. Well, that's only a bonus action.
Wait, no. Oh no, you got stabilized, yeah.
Yeah, he's been stabilized by Bulb.
Yeah, potion's an attack.
Yep, alright, so
Well-
roll your 2d4 plus 2 for your potion of healing.
3 and 2, so 5, 7, so 7 plus 8, up to 15 healthy dudes. And come on, baby, that is a...
Open your thing.
No, I'm adding in my head.
It's already up.
I'm adding that to the attack. What?
Oh.
Anyway, that's a miss.
That's a miss, unfortunately. Okay, it's the enemy's turn. First of all, the druid decides to cast Produce Flame and hurl it at Bobbit. And it hits with Produce Flame. Bobbit, you take... Well, it's a he. You take 2 points of fire damage from the Produce Flame. Then, the druid attempts to run away, provoking an attack of opportunity from Ava.
Wait.
Only one attack, though.
12.
12, that is unfortunately a miss as your sword glances off the druid's bark skin. Okay, the Scarecrow makes one claw attack against Sir Lucian. It misses, and then it makes its second claw attack against Sir Lucian, and it hits. And he takes 4 points of damage. He's down to 10. Okay, it is Bobbit's turn.
Okay. What to do. How far away from me is our lovely druid friend?
5, 10, 15 feet.
Excellent. I see Bobbit's eyes darken and just go, "Oh, you like fire, huh? Bobbit likes fire too." Yes, but yeah. And just lobs a freaking
Scorch.
burning hands at him.
Burning hands, okay. And the druid has failed his dex save, rolling only 10.
Damn, friggin' Skippy. That's gonna be 13 points of fire damage.
13 points of damage. The druid's cloak surges with flame. He screams and falls to the ground. As the flames burn, you see him twitch feebly. Okay.
Fire's better.
It is Bulb's turn.
Okay, I would like to get where I can actually attack
Scarecrow 1. Alright, so you'll move down here.
Yep, that was. And then I'm going to produce flame onto one of my darts and throw a dart.
Go ahead.
Come on, dice. Come on. Hey, that's an unnatural 20.
That's a hit. Roll for damage.
Dart. So it's 1d8 for fire damage and 1d4 for the dart.
Yep.
So that was 4 for the physical damage and 7 for the fire, so that would be 14 for the fire.
Yep.
Is that correct?
That hits the Scarecrow. Flames surge across its body. It makes one rickety step towards you and then collapses in a heap. Scarecrow 1 is down, and combat is over.
Got dicey for a second there.
Yeah, it did actually. Was not expecting that. Once
And at
the
end, Ava goes, "No shiny, just stinky."
No, yeah. Once the sounds of combat clear, you hear groaning from the druid, who somehow, miraculously, still appears to be alive.
Bobbit's brandishing a staff and is going to whack this bastard in the head.
Bob runs up to Bobbit and just puts a restraining hand on his shoulder and cautions patience.
The druid groans feebly. You notice that he's severely burnt and is bleeding out, and if not attended to soon, he will die.
I have medicine as a
Proficiency.
Yep. Would you like to try to treat him?
Could I stabilize it?
Yes, make a medicine check, please.
Can I help her because I also have
Yep,
proficiency?
go ahead, make it with advantage.
Alright. Oh wait, which one of us has the higher thing? I've got
Oh, well, I have +5.
Okay, so with advantage?
Yep.
Okay, so that was 15 plus 6, so 21.
21.
21. Yeah, you patch up his wounds as best you can, and he pulls himself up into a sitting position against one of the boulders. He narrows his eyes in hatred. He spits on the ground and speaks in a venomous voice. Why? Why didn't you just kill me?
Because they wouldn't let Bobber do it.
I'm sure that actually Bulb would Bulb, you take this.
We need information. Why were you attacking the farms? I guess.
He grunts. He says, I answer only because you spared me. I am the last of my circle, and it is my duty alone to fight against encroaching civilization.
Druid, you're not supposed to fight against civilization. You're supposed to keep a balance.
He says, what balance?
This isn't a balance.
What balance? They rape the land, use her to feed their crops, and yet their bellies are never full.
And have you gone to them to try and show them a better way?
I would like you to make a charisma check, please, Bulb.
Oh, crap. Fuck my leaf.
I was gonna say, can Bobbert help?
Yeah, Bobbert can help by, perking it. Bobbert pops up and goes we just came from the farms. Everyone there's nice.
I don't know, I feel like Bobbert's just kind of just staring at him, just intently.
That's a 15. Thank you for the advantage, by the way.
He is silent, and then he looks at you. His silence tells you everything you need to know. He looks up at you and Ava, and he says, do you think people like that will live in harmony with nature?
There's always the chance that they won't, but you'll never know unless you try. There's always a balance to be found between people and nature.
Make a nature check, please.
That one I can do.
Advantage?
Oh god, that's only a 13, unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's enough. You needed a 12.
Oh, cool.
He thinks for a moment, pondering your words as you tell him that there is always a balance between people and nature, and that people living off the land is after all what nature intended. And as long as they keep their farms in check and don't overconsume and don't expand recklessly, then the balance is maintained. He thinks for a moment, and he says, you are right. Very well, I will create no more constructs. I will leave the farmers alone. But I shall watch, for if civilization outsteps its bounds. He trails off, and he stands up. My circle, if it still existed, would thank you for sparing me. He says, I'm sure whoever sent you to get rid of me will appreciate that you managed to do so without bloodshed.
I have 2 questions. One, what circle are you from?
And
that
the other?
You can make constructs. The second is, why not come with us, or come with me at least, to the Emerald Enclave, and we can form a plan to approach the farmers and find a way to incorporate peaceful nature into their farming. Who knows, you may even up the productivity of the farms and keep them satiated for longer than otherwise?
He smiles. He says, we were a circle of Kalimvor, of death. For, if there is anything that embodies nature, it is death, and how death does not care, its uncaring grasp, when it is time.
I mean, he's not wrong.
You would-
Sorry, you're putting out M2.
I was gonna say, yeah, can't really argue with that logic.
Yeah.
But, just the same, I would like Bulb to make a persuasion check.
Can I add something before I make a
Yep,
persuasion
alright,
check?
go ahead.
While death may not be caring, death is also a way to bring new life into the world. If we were to incorporate your beliefs of death, we could rejuvenate this land. After all, a fire burns down a forest only for new life to flourish after that forest has burnt down.
I mean, you could make some primo.
So as he says this, can I pass the druid one of the apples that I picked earlier?
Yes, you can actually, and with that, make the
Olive branch.
make the persuasion check with advantage in that case.
Okay. Oh, son of a bitch. That was a 1 and a 9, so 9. Bulb is... Well, I can say things that give me advantage. Bulb is fucking shit at talking to people.
Then we'll try.
The druid simply looks at you. He frowns and he says, I do not think it is my place, but I will think on this. He says, that is all I can offer. And with that...
Come out in 10 days' time to find your answer?
He says, yes. I will give you an answer, as you did save my life. You spared me, and I owe you that much, but I have no answer to offer now. And with that...
That is
Yep.
more than I was expecting, so I will see you in 10 days' time.
He pulls his cloak around himself, takes one last look at all of you, and then hobbles away into the tree line. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Robert,
well,
cut out
I
again.
didn't hear that.
Yep.
As he sort of like limps off, Bobbit just looks and goes, "Bye-bye, Mr. Rude Crispy Man."
You may have a short rest before you return to Waterdeep.
Neato.
Alright.
And he wasn't inherently evil, was he?
No, he was lawful neutral.
Sorry, you cut out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he was lawful
Lawful
neutral,
Never
Kitty.
mind.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Bobbit's
Lawful
back to
neutral.
Liam?
It was lawful neutral.
Okay.
I will be right back while everyone takes a short rest, because I'm pretty much okay.
Yep. So you may take a short rest, spend as many hit die as you like.
I have rolled my hit dice. I'll be back in a second as
Yep.
well.
Because we still have another hour of the session to go.
Good lord.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long one, but actually, it's so far only been normal length.
Well, we've done a lot today.
We
I
have,
am
so...
back.
We have. So actually, would we like to... who wants to go on and who wants to cut the session here?
Normally I would say I would like to go on, but I actually will need to leave in about 10-15 minutes anyway, so...
Fair enough. Okay. Well, you return to Waterdeep, and as the sun sets, you return to Falconmere and report the druid, and report what happened, that you met the druid, spared his life, and offered him a position here in Waterdeep to Malinor Fellbranch. Malinor smiles as he trims away some of the branches on one of the gnarled trees. He says, I had a feeling the Circle of Kalimvor still had some adherents in the area, and you did as I thought you would. You ended the threat to the farms, restored balance, and yet shed no blood. I am happy, the Order is happy, and, most of all, I'm sure Lady Jerith will also be happy. He trims away a couple more branches, and he watches as Bulb and Ava step forward and bundle them up. And then he takes a deep breath, shuffles over to one of the park benches in the middle of the gardens, and as his grey skin turns purple in the setting sun, he smiles once more. He says, you have proven your worth to the Enclave, and we are proud to have you. The Enclave works for the peace and order of nature, but we also believe in a reward for a job well done.
Yay.
He reaches into his cloak and pulls out a coin purse, giving 30 GP to each of you.
Oh, neat.
Not.
He says, furthermore, a gift from Lady Jerith as thanks for preserving the life of those who serve nature. He reaches once more into his cloak, and he pulls out what at first appears to be a crescent-shaped blade. Its metal glowing, a soft glow in the dusk of the sunset. He hands it to Bulb. He reaches out and takes it.
And bow slightly when I take it.
Yep. Bulb, would you like to... Bobbit, would you like to make an Arcana check to identify this?
Yeah. It's going to be a 22.
A 22. Very well. Very well. You identify it as a moon-touched sword. And so, I'm going to grab that and bring it up in the chat. Just ensure it is the correct item I intend to actually no.
Okay.
Actually, this one, I described the completely wrong item here. I had one set aside for... I had one set of... Yeah, it's okay. Remember everyone, we've had a break. Yeah, I had an item set aside specifically for Bulb in this instance. I'm just going to bring up the... what it does. What at first appears to be a glowing shard of metal. When it reaches your hands, you realize it to actually be a small sliver, a twig of wood with an oddly metallic texture and sheen to it, softly glowing in the dusk. And Bobbit identifies this as a piece of imbued wood, ferny and ash.
Sounds.
And so I'll bring it up in the chat. You can see what it does.
What?
And I'll also let the people who are in the stream see it.
Yep.
Okay, here it comes in the chat for you. Where is... Okay, and... Where did I put it? Imbued wood. Here we go.
Oh.
An imbued wood focus is a rod, staff, or wand cut from a tree infused with extra planet energy. In your case, it is none. It is just a chunk of wood that you will be infusing yourself. If you're a spellcaster, you can use this item as a spellcasting focus. When you cast a damage-dealing spell using this item as your spellcasting focus, you gain a +1 bonus to 1 fire damage roll of the spell.
Ooh.
It does require attunement.
Yep. So
And
once
so,
I've
once
put
you've
it in my staff,
once you've cut it in your staff, you will then have a Fernian Ash Staff, which is a different item, but it still requires attunement. And the Fernian Ash Staff is just a staff that has imbued Fernian Ash in it. And yeah, it does require attunement. So once you've attached it to your staff and have a Fernian Ash Staff, you will require attunement. And so, with that, you get a long rest, and you guys also level up to 3rd level.
Oh my god.
Can you pass me?
Oh, yes.
We'll do it.
Shit is about to get real, folks.
second level
I'll
spells.
just think
Second level
it's
spells.
possible.
Second
Yep.
level spells.
Preemptive.
I feel like in hindsight we probably should have the break part here while we update everything.
Yeah, but but no, yeah, you level up to level 3, you get a long rest, you can attune to any items that you would like.
I'll be
Which
spending
I...
my long rest here.
Yep, imbuing your Fernian Ash. Oh, and yeah, so Bob, you want to have your long rest in the garden?
Yes, please.
Okay, yep. So everyone else heads back to Trollskull Manor. However, Bulb remains in the garden, in meditation, for the rest of the night. You return to Trollskull Manor just in time for the evening rush. And as you get to work for yet another night, you reflect on the adventures of the day, pass along a few tales to some of your patrons, and wonder what awaits tomorrow when you get up the next day and begin the search for Maxine the horse. Who was spying on the Bakers Guild.
Awesome.
Unless that is, remember that is a quest that was given to you by a faction you have chosen not yet to join, so you cannot, you may choose to just not do that if you wish.
Always works to be too.
Yep.
But I do have to go. So,
Yep.
thank you. I have
That's
to go
okay.
just a couple minutes early. Sorry.
Yep, that's okay, Remy, we had a good one.
Yep. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Yep. So next episode will take place the very next day after you wake up that night, and you will continue your search for the spying horse Maxine under the orders of the Lord's Alliance. I apologise that there wasn't a lot of combat in today's session, but it was mainly a house cleaning one. And
I'm sorry,
Well,
that
that's been the
Mod
best
Opera
of-
alone made up for it, my
Yeah,
friend. You
the opera made up
outdid
for it.
yourself with that. Beautiful. Also, yeah, Bob, that was beautiful.
My
Very
God.
moving. Would definitely watch again. Also, Bobbit is getting one hell of an upgrade, but I suppose we'll cross into that later.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to, Ava's been dying to do herbalism. since
Yes, to
level
learn.
1.
Yes, she
She
has.
knows it.
Oh, she can go do it? Very well.
She just wants to do it.
We may as well roll for that now. Keep in mind, you only have one night to make it, so I would like you to make a roll with your herbalism kit, with disadvantage, please. Because you only have one night to make something before you head back out the next day to adventure some more.
11.
11? Yeah, you can make one potion of healing out of that. Or possibly... Yeah, would you like... Actually, two potions of healing.
2 potions of healing.
Yep.
I will take one and I will give one to Nut.
To replace the one,
Well,
yes. Yeah.
we both used one.
Yeah.
Very well. And with that, with the evening rush out of the way, you close up Trollskull Manor, clean up the last few plates and cups that are left lying around, and finally retire to your bedrooms to rest up before tomorrow's adventure that proves to be, well, if not dangerous, considering the fact that it apparently involves a woman who spends her days masquerading as a horse, definitely entertaining. We thank everyone who joined us today. We hope you enjoyed the adventure. A little bit of a slow one with not a lot of combat, but we did come back after the break. We had a bit of house cleaning to do, and of course we had the Fellowship Opera. We hope you'll join us again 2 weeks from now for our next episode, which we will be streaming live from Liam's house, although it won't make any difference to you guys because we're still going to be just logged into Discord and playing as normal, but maybe because we're all in the same room you'll hear us a bit better. But we hope that you catch us then for the next exciting adventure and see what becomes of the party searching for Maxine and crossing paths once again with the evil Baker's Guild. Bye-bye! Oh yep, let's go get Liam.
If you would like to support us, we do have a Patreon with a lot of rewards. Tiers starting just from $1 if you just feel like supporting us, all the way up to a guest spot.
Yes. Many perks, including being able to have NPCs named after you or help me design some dastardly traps. One such trap will be appearing next episode in the Baker's Hideout, actually.
Oh no.
So if you like that and would like to have a hand in making something like it, then feel free to join up. But for now, we bid you farewell, and we hope you stay safe until the next exciting adventure. Bye!
And don't forget to join us on the Discord.
Don't forget to come to our Discord and see what we're all up to. Sometimes we role-play it.
Yep.
Yep.
But for now, bye-bye!